This is on the 5th.
Yeah, the 5th.
Today's the 6th.
Yeah, the 5th, I thought like you had some rain.
So you have to check for the 6th of May. Today's the 6th of May. Okay? So we're going to check for the 6th of May now.
No, you got to check, yeah. If you're 5th, you're not going to look for the 6th.
So we're going to check the 6th of May.
Hello?
Right.
It's
the 5th of May. Nothing. That's during the day yesterday. Okay?
Okay.
All right? It's all the 5th of May here. See this time? It's on the 5th of May.
Okay. We have to see that.
All right? So you know he's not in the pool on the 5th of May. So you want to see if you can pick up what happened. Okay, that's the evening of the 6th of May, of the 5th of May. Okay? That's right. This evening of there's no closer Henry here. I see it happened last night at 9 o'clock. You see there's no closer Henry here. Okay? There you go. See I'm in the pool here? So now we're seeing what happened here. So let's see.
No, I think they had a couple.
Let's see the timestamp here. Henry's in the pool. Henry's in the pool at 10:30. Okay? You can see the body here. He's in the pool. Now we're getting somewhere. He's in the pool at 10:14. We run the camera footage here for you. He's in the pool at 10:07. Okay? At night, you can see a body in the pool. And this doesn't matter. Right? There you go. Look at it. Look at this. Take a look. That's Henry walking to the pool. We've got it. We've got it. Look at that. Look at it. He jumped into the pool. Look at that. So you see Henry jumped into the pool of water and he's swimming. He could swim. We're seeing it here. We have the footage. Okay? Henry's swimming. Yes.
Okay.
Henry is swimming.
All right.
So he could swim.
Yes, hold on. All right. Later.
We have the footage here. Henry is swimming in the pool. Okay?
That's what we're looking for. That's the most important thing.
He is swimming. Let us see what happens when you get back. You can see him swimming in the pool. So whether he could swim is not the question, because he is swimming. All right? Whether Henry could swim is not the question, because he is swimming. Okay? He could swim. We could see him swimming. And this is just to help his daughter and his family to get closure. All right?
Yeah.
He could swim. He is swimming. You saw that he jumped into the pool.
Huh?
And I'm going to show the police the footage.
I find footage he's swimming in the pool. You guys looking at that? Promoted just now.
All right? You could see him swimming. That's at 9:53. Timestamp 9:53. 21:53 hours. He is swimming. Okay, so he went to the end of the pool.
Yeah. Yeah, we're looking at it right now because I want to go back up front to show the police.
Okay.
My brother don't want you to stream this thing like so stop.
No?
He said, this is
the family asked me to do this. All right?
All right, hold a second. No, because they are just working this to give information for what been going on at present. You know.
So we have
all
the
right.
footage, right?
All right. All right.
All right.
This is the guy what was here before. All right. He said you don't want you to do
That's all right.
it.
That's okay. Oh, this is the brother's asked me to not stream it, but his daughter's here.
Yeah.
Okay.
He stopped, so that's it.
So his daughter is the next of kin.
Because is it?
Yeah.
All right.
All right. So we show the information to the police, and the police must be here to say that they saw it.
All right. All right.
All right.
You hear that part? Let me.
We need to ensure that everything regarding Henry is recorded and the public sees it. Because we don't want the police to tell us something that we didn't see. Okay, that's something what I'm doing. All right, so we could, I know the exact timestamp. Let's go to the police and show them in your presence, so you can say you saw exactly what happened on this this
So this is, I gotta look to see what's the conclusion of this.
Right? Yeah.
When everything will be the final analysis.
So let's take it to the police.
So I can get the police and let the police.
Right? Yeah, and don't give them their phone to take away.
Huh?
Don't give them the phone to carry.
No, nobody can use phone.
Right? Gosh, what's happening, man? Good, man. Good under the circumstances. All right?
All right, bye.
We want to ensure that we're present when anything is happening with this man. All right? So I'm going with the gentleman. Yeah, let's go to the police and we show. I'll be standing to witness that the police saw the footage. All right. All right. We're going for the family to see what we saw. How are you doing, guys? Good man. All right. Thus far, we would have seen Henry jumping into the pool. We saw that. All right. Right. Good morning. Hello. All right. His daughter needs to have a copy of the footage because the footage doesn't belong to the police, and his child has a right to have footage of this pool. Right here, let's keep the compound closed. We want to preserve this scene, and the video footage, of course, will just be. Yes, that's this daughter, the family here, this daughter in the white, okay, and this her cousin and so on. So they're good. Okay. Right. Right. Yeah, let's show the police. Because someone showing up in a pool, of course, apparently deceased, obviously deceased. You don't just take things at face value. We need to have an answer. The man's child need to have information. She requested I do what I do. So I'm doing this. Of course, the request was daughter. Someone else requested that this should not be done. So I'm not going to really cause an issue. Okay, how are you doing, bro? Morning. So we found the footage, right? We have the footage, right? Good. So let's go beyond the gate and let's report to the happy. Okay. Right. Okay. Yeah. This is the son. No. Daughter. Okay. All right. So it starts at about 9:30. Secure. But the police are now in charge. Yeah, the police are now in charge. Yeah. Right? Yeah. All right. Yeah, but the police will do that. Yeah, the police will do that. Yeah, the police will do that. All right. We have footage. NCM people can come because this is no crimes. Right? They can talk outside. Right? We've got it. You starting from just before 10, okay? From 9:30 on the footage, you'll see when he walked into the pool. When he jumped into the pool. 9:30. When you jump in, you swim in that direction, and then somebody call and say stop. When shrimp coming back, right?
I would like to come, but just because the police don't want them to have access.
Right.
Speak with them.
That's understandable.
Right.
So we have our mayor here. We have our mayor here. We need answers first. All right. You can't give interviews without answers. Yes, sir. So the first we need to see is on the camera when Henry went down under the water. That's the first we need to see. Right. Exactly. Right? We just want to see what happened. Okay. That's your son? Okay. All right, so. So you want to see the footage? You want to see the one floor? 10. The family can see first. Let them see first. 10 o'clock. Yeah, come show them. Show them first. Show God and stuff first. Y'all watch it first. The mayor is here. You let us see first, so the police will confirm what you see. All right, I won't put it live because nobody wants to see live. But let them confirm what we see. Kind of right? Sure, you go into
25th is 10.
Right.
Kieran.
Go back to 9 something. Touch a little too hard. Right?
You can get the
You and shit. No, I didn't get any time back. When you send the other way. So we now checking to see when I will not show it, but you need to find it. Okay. So if his family want to see, they have a right to see this for the trust.
This is the 5th, right?
Right. So I'll end the broadcast. And you go up to do. All right.
No, I'm a scientist. So I don't pronounce on postmortem. If they're not accepting a postmortem and they're not accepting police doing anything, you think a year from now, a couple months from now, when we go to an election without biometrics and without clean voters list, and we go with, you think they're going to accept that? Again, I'm throwing it out to my fellow leaders, but I'm also throwing it out to the government. You have a chance to make right. And that is what you're saying. Mr. Ali and others have a chance. I'm not an Obia man, but I am watching and observing keenly. The people, they can't say the PNC carry them people in front of the hospital. They even surprised me. Those people went in front of, they're making their own decisions. And they're showing a consciousness that is beating people all over. A friend pointed out to me, about a year and a half ago, I observed Gabriel. Young people start sending me things about what's going on in Burkina Faso. One of them telling me, Dr. Hines, you is Guyana Ibrahim. And these are young people who we say, these people are paying attention. When I start observing around the Caribbean, I realize the young people in the rest of the Caribbean are paying attention to what's happening in Burkina Faso. It's there, but we don't credit our young people with consciousness and intelligence. So when they're gathering their consciousness, we can't see it. We can't see it. And so what you have here is in my view, and I'm asking you, is the manifestation of a consciousness that is rooted in what Walter Rodney called the self-activity and self-liberation of people. I am amazed, night after night, big women, big men, young girls, they're coming out of the house from Atlanta to Washington, D.C., New York, Maikoni, this way, that way. And what is happening here? This is not normal. It is not normal. And I don't have the answers. I'm using my training. I'm using my activism of observing the thing to try to make sense. But often when these things are happening in real time, you don't quite grasp it. And so that is why I've taken it upon myself to try in real time to say, these are the signs we are seeing here. It could change tomorrow. They may have a demonstration tomorrow and Indian businesses may be attacked. But we will know that the Indian businesses have been attacked. They're not being attacked by the brothers and sisters who are out there on Monday night. There got to be somebody else now who attack those Indian businesses. What them big people say, I say no more. Over to you, Gabriel.
Well, again, you've said you've said a mouthful there. The one, I think, if anything that can be said, the PNC was not close to that protest at all.
Not at all.
So that piece of that tradition that the P.P.P has, that knee-jerk thing to say, oh, is an opposition thing. They couldn't go there. They could not go there. And I can tell you that because of my proximity to this one, others have not been, that was coming from the ground. That was coming from deep inside here. And the point that I've been harping on, insisting upon, and I put it out there, if you can't trust the police, not if you can't, if you are not going to trust the police, if you can't trust your pathologists, is how much we got? 2? You can't trust your pathologists. I will go so far as to say people don't trust the president. Nobody wants it? Well, let me put it this way. I wrote it in a kind of nuanced language. My trust in the president is close to 0. And I think everybody knows where they're down there. If that is me, what about people who really get brutalized by the economic violence, by the police violence, by the state violence, by the verbal violence? What about those people who say, well, nothing what you say I can take? We're in a bad place there.
Very bad place.
Imagine you reduce this country to 2 citizens, me and you. And I tell you, wherever you come up with, you better take them off the table right away. So then that is where we are in this country. I am hearing Indian people, let's shift this a bit here if I may, saying, I mean to trust them on that. Why do you think the young fella has that appeal? Why do you think the newspaper publisher, when he goes, people already got a big listening audience, plus when he goes and say, people telling me to do all kind of thing. It is because people are tired of these fellas and beyond tired and disgusted with them because they have disgraced the offices they hold and disgraced us. They have disillusioned us, the ordinary man out there, the people who who are left to their own devices. Now, if you got a family, David, that ain't got trust, if you walk in a workplace that ain't got trust, you're living in a community that nobody entrusts one another, and you know where I'm going with this, everybody should know it, and you live in a country where complete distrust or close to it saturates the entire society, then what do we have? We got nothing. We can get all the oil in the world and all the gold and all the timber, and we have those. But what do we have really as something to bind us and guide us, something to lift us and carry us? What do we have when our systems are so broken and the people who are manning the systems are so distrusted? What do we have? Do we need really the death of an 11-year-old to bring us to this sort of awareness, to this sort of insight, that this is where we did? When I said before, we just use this big fancy word, credibility, right? It's more than, it's people in trust. When you got trust, we talk about a shop here, a grocery shop, a cake shop from our days growing up. We're talking about national trust. We are talking about leadership that is distrusted. from the time they open their mouth, people say this, what are they coming up with now? What are they coming up to pull a fast one per week, to put a paper bag over we head? And that is what drove this whole Adrianna Young and the surrounding developments and the aftermath. Well, they can't even say the aftermath because we're still talking about a second autopsy, and we're talking about a funeral that has not happened. Now, I know I said to you before we came live, and I thought we were live before we knew it for that first 15 minutes. I said to you, I noticed in today's paper that the ambassadors, the foreign diplomatic corps, the leading ones, America in the lead, are calling for calm. At that time, the funeral there was no announcement, it was off. Are calling for calm. That's good. But I remember Sarah Lynch saying, Excellency Lynch saying, at least we must give her that among the other things that she did, that there must be distribution of the assets of this country that reaches all citizens. The no lady, Excellency Nicole D. Theriot, with due respect to her, she
I'm trying to run right now. I'm running my cameras to see what might be transpired.
Cameras here?
Yeah, I got camera on the pool. I got camera.
We need to run the camera.
Yeah, I got, but I was that's where I was at back, all the time. But I need just to get it at least present it to them when they come. But everybody show up before. But I'm gonna go back inside and check and see what footage I got and then bring them up to speed.
Can I put a camera there to show him in the water?
Yeah.
Can I put a camera show him in the water? Can I put a picture on? Can I turn the camera?
It will help because of what's going on right now.
We have where he is now, and then we go into the and see. Okay, so they give me permission to show him in the water. Yeah.
It's whatever.
So people here, we don't even have to zoom in, okay? And please be sensitive. This is the man who allowed me to go into the pool the other day to prove to the world. He said he wants justice for Adrianna. Now look at this man here, hours on the water. All right, hey, brother. Okay, there's a man in the pool. He has not floated because there's no rigor mortis stepping in. Okay. All right. So yeah, step back. I've got it. All right. Don't create any confusion around the area. I've got it. All right. I've got it. But you don't want to create a scene whereby the police have to move and we lose what we want to get, which is evidence. All right. We're going out to run the cameras because the cameras here. We're going in to run the cameras to see exactly what I'm saying. Right. But if you start making a whole lot of rockets, police come and move them, we lose what we need to get, which is evidence. All right. What got him in this pool and how he got underwater. Okay. So here we see we don't want to contaminate any environment, but there's somebody in this pool. Yahweh knows what he's doing. This man, I say again, this man in this water told me last week when I came here the other day, he wants justice for this little girl and he must get in the pool to show the world what will happen. What are the chances? So we're going to run the cameras and we're going to see. Of course, the police are here. We need to see how this gentleman got in here. His clothing are here. All right, we don't want to contaminate any of these things. Nobody's touched his clothes, leave it right here. Okay? Those are his clothes here. So we have his clothing over here. We need answers. This man's daughter is here, and I hope that she gets answers this morning as to what happened. This is crazy. So the police are taking information. All right. All right. So this gentleman works at this site. Okay. You see his socks. How did he end up in this pool? You would have heard me speaking to this man the other day. You heard me speaking to this gentleman. And he said that I need to come and he said I need to demonstrate in the pool.
You can take pictures all day. All day you can take pictures. You had enough. School is not enough. All day you can take pictures in the picture.
Yeah. Y'all, we have to maintain order around here, man. All right? Right? So the gentleman is underwater. Can you see him? You ready? Can you see a human being underwater here? Yes. Okay? In the 7 feet section of the pool, he is here. Okay, see? 7 feet. 7 feet 6 inches is depth of the pool. He's here. You can see him. You checking the cameras? Let's run the cameras. You need to run them. Yeah. All right?
Camera, you know camera work.
Yeah. Correct. Take some time. All right? So they're going to run the cameras because we can see a person here.
I asked them to remove this one in the face. I've taken about 4 pictures.
All right? So I'm not going to show the person's daughter's face unless she asks me to. But I'm here as a public spirited citizen who is going to, in the spirit of what is right, ensure that we see. You notice they've now got markings in the pool. I told the Connie, look, this guy even went as far the other day to improve for our safety. See that? So they took measurements. They're now showing you the depths of the pool. They're showing you 7.5 feet. They're showing you what's happening 7 feet, 7.5 feet, 8 feet. So they're showing you here markings along the pool. So you know exactly what you're dealing with. Why? Because you can't look at water and tell how deep it is. So we're not going to make any assumptions. We're not going to make any assumptions. In this case, the cameras are working, or they reportedly said to be working. So we're not going to seek to frustrate the process. We're not going to have the police be unable to do their work. All right? I said to Connie Blair, if you can see, and somebody tell Connie Blair, please, if you can see a key in the water, you can see a person. You can see an individual. There's no bloating of the body. There's no discoloration because this pool has chlorine. This is in Linden at Dr. Haynes' Mall pool. Okay? This man is apparently one of the caretaker here because he's the one I came to speak to. He's the one who, I must repeat, in his honor, he said to me, go into the water. You have to show what happened to this girl. That's what the man said. Go into the water. We want, yes, he said, you go in there and you show what happened. Connie is present, so Connie was present, so Connie can attest to this. This man said, yes, go in. He doesn't mind because you have to have justice and you have to show what happened. That man said that to me. And now he's underwater. He's obviously deceased because of his body position. He's not floating. He's not coming out of the water. He's not even moving underwater, say he drifted to go somewhere because he is drowned. But what we want to know, it appears that in my language, it appears as if he's drowned. We now have to check footage to see if anybody did anything that have caused him to end up in this water. So the assumption is that he's drowned, but we need to have now footage to see if we can ascertain anything regarding harm to this gentleman. All right?
Mom, there cannot be video in the area. Please exit the pool area.
The family, you all understand, the family gave me permission. The family asked me to come to do this, okay? All right? The family asked me to do this, okay? Why? Because they trust the fact that I'm going to report to you responsibly and ensure that we have order maintained here. This would not be sent into chaos as you saw by Doubleday's pool. It's not happening here. Okay? It is not happening here. We're going to ensure that we maintain order. The police have been very professional, very ethical, and that's what you want. We're not going to tamper with this scene and walk all over the place. We're going to maintain order. Yes, all right? The police are doing their job. As I'm saying, they're doing exactly what they should. They're capturing, they're taking photographs of the scene. Okay? They're showing us exactly what's going on. You see a pack of cigarettes here. Okay? So the police are doing what they have to do. Let's allow them to do their work. Because again, we have to have some confidence reposed and restored. Right? And I'm seeing what they're doing. They're walking around, they're assessing. I'm reporting to you all what's happening here because the public must know. Okay? Right? You have to drain the pool, yeah. Right.
I have no idea how these things are working.
Have we?
Yeah, I don't tell you guys. Soon as I want to get out of here, I'm gonna be busy. Then you see it on here, no?
His phone? His phone is here?
And I'm looking at everything, you know, so far what I see, I see something to backtrack. You know, these things can be difficult at times, especially if you don't have a timing.
Yeah.
You know, so you gotta scope through every little thing. But I can get it.
You could start running.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do.
Is any doctor on the way? Is any doctor been called?
No,
Have you called for any doctor so that when they take him out, they can at least on site make a preliminary confirmation? It may be healthy for us to have a doctor on scene to say, well, okay, then when he came out, what it was. Right? How you doing?
all right, no problem. All
All right.
Let me run now.
Because ideally, we should have a doctor on the scene to say that the person was seen and appeared to be deceased when they got out the door. Right? The family wants me here to do what I'm doing. Right?
I'm good. God, give me a little time. Give me a little time to go here and do this now. I can get it done right now.
Yeah, let's have
I
it.
gotta know that y'all don't need me. If you guys don't need me, 7 more
So
lines.
this is the daughter. You get all right. I hope you have strength to stand. And, you get to this. All right.
Yeah, I'll be right back.
Let's do whatever we can.
Every day I come here, Henry is so
Henry,
polite,
you to me
nice,
is a clap.
courteous.
Henry,
says, no,
Henry.
boy, they may we take a, oh.
Henry's name. Henry, of course, very, very gentle man. So we're going to see if we could have any footage from the camera. All right. His name is Henry. His first name. So, hey, brother. So we want to know from the video footage. Oh, it's over here? I've shown you. You can just scroll back on my broadcast. You have to be very sensitive and not do too much, right? So somebody has gone to start checking the video footage. I want to go with him. But you saw that the individual, Henry, is still on the water because a human being does not float within a few hours after drowning unless the water is extremely hot. And the person has got to have, of course, decomposition. Gases would have to be in the body. Then, where you run the cameras? They over there? The cameras are over the other side? Yeah. Okay. All right. So we need to have access to the video. So there's a cousin here. Good morning. We need to see the cameras around the pool for us to know what happened with Henry. That's your cousin? Yeah. Yeah, this man here. Yeah. This is your cousin as well? Yeah. Oh, so Henry's your cousin then? Yeah, he's one. I got you. Right? We're trying to find out what has happened to this gentleman. Right? So, justice is a strange thing. Divine justice is a strange thing. The same man who insisted that I must go into, he said, go into the pool. Yes, you could go. Show everybody what happened. Put the key in the water. He was right there to show the demonstration. He said exactly. He was telling me you can't just float up the water just like that. All right. We are here to see what happened. I'm back in the pool, and he's still in the water. All right? You can see from where I'm standing way over here, 20, 30 feet away from me, you can still see in the water. All right? You can still see what's happening. And you tell me you can see Adrianna? What are you already telling people? The last time his daughter saw him was 6:30 yesterday evening. So you want to run the timelines and the camera to see when? All right? The policemen are there doing their job, and I don't put cameras in police houses when they work. You're not supposed to do that. Unless you suspect you're doing something that isn't right. Now, what to be suspicious of? I don't foresee him going to take a swim in the clothing he's wearing. Right? So we want to be on site when they remove Henry from this pool, his body, so we can see what he looks like. I'm doing this again at the request of his daughter. This is important for us to take note of, right? This is him under the pool. You don't see any discoloration of the arms and all that Caleb was talking about and others about that consistent with drowning. At least somebody here who has supposedly drowned, but we don't know. We have to examine when he gets out of the water. The police is supposed to look at, check his body, see if there are any signs of trauma, okay, upon him being retrieved out of the pool. The person is obviously dead, given the time he was spent underwater. But I'm here to ensure that the policemen, the family who have me here, they say they want to be present. Okay? We're not going to contaminate this scene. All right? We don't want to contaminate this area. Let me talk to people, all right? You want to give the police a chance to get evidence and information, so you don't want to be walking around the area and stuff like that, right? You don't want to contaminate this scene at all, because we're going to assume this person drowned, right? When they get him out to the water, we'll check to see if he has any marks on his body or anything like that. Yeah, so we're going to rush and contaminate the scene for people to say, well, you know, this next. Right? I was right here, and he's the person who told me to go into the water and check it. He's the one who, yes, Henry told me, listen, go inside, you could go. Put the key inside. He's the one who said he wants justice for the little girl. What are the chances this man, right, does him saying to you? He told me go and show them, and now look what we have today. You can see all the way from way over here. You can still see Henry in the pool. Look, you can still see a person. How can you tell me you can't see the little girl at the bottom of the pool? And this pool is 8 feet deep. They show you measurements along the side of the pool, right? Morning, how are you doing? So the police are here. I don't see any doctor show up because the doctor should be on site to say that the person, when he was retrieved, showed no sign of life. Okay. We need this gentleman who has to run this camera. Right?
Excuse me.
Helen, come in. So we need. Yeah, I got it. I have it. We need to have the cameras run. I mean, that's very, very important. The cameras need to be run now because. Yeah, I'm going. Yeah, we need to have the cameras run. This is very important, right? And you his only child? Okay. Just hope you have strength to stand this. I'm here with you. All right, those of you who have great interest in seeing somebody in the pool than hear what I'm saying to you. All right? We need to run the cameras. We have to run cameras at this pool. All right? Yeah. And Henry's a swimmer. Good morning. Good morning. All right? Morning, Jenny. Morning. All right? Morning. All right? Yeah. So the family again are asking me. Yes, Henry could swim. Henry's a swimmer. He's been in the pool all the time. Yes.
This is the pool right there. Maybe put yourself where you could see. Maybe if you know to scroll it and do, and you could help me. I can go up on another camera then, on another phone and see what's going on this day.
All right, so up here,
All you do is scroll back.
Good.
You scroll back and you
can
can
see the time of day and everything.
The time
right?
and everything.
Right. So here you can see we're running a car. Let me rest the phone.
Rest it on me.
Yeah.
It's just a work area,
Yes.
so I just nothing else. See if you could assist me, because me alone is going to be kind of. I get my time, I can lay back and.
Right. So this you're running
Just
time.
touch it and then you pull back the time in. Just stay on the blue, because anything after the blue is not going to be nothing.
Right. So you're running timestamps here.
Yeah.
So there is footage, as you can see.
Yeah, they got footage, and but you got to look for the pool. That's the other areas. Yeah.
So you're trying to find the pool.
Okay, the pool, you got to maybe scroll. See if it's working, scroll. Right? Pull across.
So I pull it across.
Yeah, pull across like that. Go back. Keep pulling back. No,
Swipe again?
Yeah, till you see the pool.
Okay, so you're trying to get the footage of the pool.
Yeah, that's
what
you want.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what you want. You want that area. Anything else, after you find what going on there, then you could look around for any other thing else you need.
All right, so you're trying to go back on the timestamps here.
Yeah, look for time slot, because if what happened if you look from the today, if you look from today, you're gonna see that from 12 o'clock, it's nothing like didn't happen. If you look from, and then you could start deciding which direction you might get to.
Correct.
Because if you check, you have to turn it up sideways to get it the time. And you see nothing in play now. This is why you're looking for see anybody jump over or anything that or anybody moving on the
we don't see underneath. In the pool.
Okay? Yeah.
So we run in footage before we hand this over to any police officer or anything.
Yeah, I like to get that before. This is what I was trying to, but when things like this happen, everybody call and you can't do only one person.
Correct. We need to see when Henry showed up in the pool.
Yeah, you need to see when any action. I think it's still there. And there's one thing with this camera, you can't rush nothing.
No.
Something time consuming, you gotta be able to stay focused.
So we're running cameras here. Okay. And these cameras are Wi-Fi because they're connected to a phone.
Yeah.
So it means you can see these cameras anywhere you are in the world, more than likely.
Yeah. Let's go home and see things here. When you're up north, I still look back here and see everything.
So you want to see when Henry's clothes would have taken off his clothes and all that.
Yes, you should be able to see all of
put
that.
his clothes down. So now it's dark. You can see that's 4 o'clock in the morning. Okay?
Yeah, but you would see him if he moving around there.
Correct.
That's what I'm saying. Really like that. He's really able to give you an idea, you know,
So
what's
you
going
can
on.
see. Let's run in the wee hours of the morning, see what's up on here.
Okay.
So we're doing this to show you, and I'm doing this to show you that I'm here in person. So, and you sing along with me. All right. What is it we're looking at? So you see, it was raining at some point. It was raining at some point.
You see, look.
Okay.
There's at
So you
12
have another
o'clock.
camera at midnight.
That's 12 o'clock.
And this camera we see
This 12 o'clock.
Henry in the pool.
Right? So you gotta look on the 5th. This is from the 6th at 12 o'clock. So you gotta check onto the 5th to find out.
So on the 5th. So I have the 5th here.
Yeah, you gotta look
at
on the
2:20
5th.
a.m. See that? The 5th at 2:20 a.m. So let's see. And the camera is running. So the camera picked Henry up at 12 o'clock. All right? So that's 12, that's midnight.
You gotta try from around 11.
All
Try
right?
from 11:10 and go backwards. Yeah.
No, I got something to do. I don't know what your mother down there. That's the same man I got from here.
Right? So on the 5th.
Yeah, look and see you. Yeah,
Right.
go on the camera.
So on Monday at midnight, this is what we're seeing. It is raining. Right? The camera is moving.
No, it's not. I got it from up to the 5th.
So we're not seeing footage here of Henry moving by this pool. All right, so
Yeah, it rained last night.
this is on the 5th.
Yeah, the
Today's
5th.
the 6th.
Yeah, the 5th, like you had some rain.
So you have to check for the 6th of May. Today's the 6th of May. Okay? So we're going to check for the 6th of May now.
No, you got to check, yeah. If you're 5th, you're not going to look for the
Right.
6th.
So we're going to check the 6th of May.
Hello?
Right.
I'm then trying
It's the 5th of May. Nothing. That's during the day yesterday. Okay?
Okay.
All right?
No, but we had.
It's all the 5th of May here. See this time? It's on the 5th of May.
Okay. You have to see that.
All right? So you know he's not in the pool on the 5th of May. So you want to see if you can pick up what happened. Okay, that's the evening of the 6th of May, of the 5th of May. Okay? That's right. This evening of there's no closer Henry here. I see it happened last night at 9 o'clock. You see, there's no cross Henry here. Okay?
I'm right, but you know how difficult that is. You can say you want this, but you just have to.
There you go. See, I'm in the pool here. So now we're seeing what happened here. So let's see.
No, I think they got a problem.
Let's see the timestamp here. Henry's in the pool. Henry's in the pool at 10:30. Okay? You can see the body here. He's in the pool. Now we're getting somewhere. He's in the pool at 10:14. We run the camera footage here for you. He's in the pool at 10:07. Okay? At night, you can see a body in the pool, and it doesn't matter. Right? There you go. Look at it. Look at this. Take a look. That's Henry walking to the pool. We've got it. We've got it. Look at that. Look at it. He jumped into the pool. Look at that. So you see Henry jumped into the pool of water, and he's swimming. He could swim. We're seeing it here. We have the footage. Okay? Henry's swimming. Yes.
Okay.
Henry is swimming.
All right.
So he could swim.
Yes, hold on. All right. Later.
We have the footage here. Henry is swimming in the pool. Okay?
That's what we're looking for. That's the most important thing.
He is swimming. Let us see what happens when you get back. You can see him swimming in the pool. So whether he could swim is not the question, because he is swimming. All right? Whether Henry could swim is not the question, because he is swimming. Okay? He could swim. We could see him swimming. And this is just to help his daughter and his family to get closure. All right?
Yeah.
He could swim. He is swimming. You saw that he jumped into the pool.
Huh?
And I'm going to show the police the footage.
I find footage he's swimming in the pool. You guys looking at that? Promoted just now.
All right? You could see him swimming. That's at 9:53. Timestamp 9:53. 21:53 hours. He is swimming. Okay, so he went to the end of the pool.
Yeah. Yeah, we're looking at it right now because I want to go back up front to show the police.
Okay?
My brother don't want you to stream this thing like, so stop.
No?
Yeah. This is
the family asked me to do this. All right?
All right, hold a second. Hold a second. No,
So
because they're just working on this to give information for what.
I'm so happy the family have announced today Dexter Todd is taking charge. As I indicated to you a few days ago, the family have new legal team, and Dexter Todd is taking charge of the case. I was so encouraged to see that today in the quest for justice, and he wants to find out about the manner of death, because he's saying cause of death is not the same as manner of death. So, yeah, building up these justifications, drumming up these things. So now they're starting to pin some cybercrime on me, like I set up this thing. And I even saw some of my own friends in the comments saying like, as if this girl admitted something or she's lying on me. She didn't. I don't think she told any lie on me. She never said anything. There's no public I don't see her lips moving and nothing. She didn't come out. And she got provide evidence that Francis Bailey set her to go, and how long would she have to rehearse something like that? Did you know how detailed that was? You think as a Hollywood actor in this thing? I don't understand. So all of that is to build justification to come and raid my house, to search for guns, drugs, and ammunition, and to seize my data, to seize my computer. And this is what the overseas guy informed me of, to seize my computer. And y'all don't, you might think, oh, we know as which person there, but I have a number of people in the diaspora that communicate with me regularly and keep me informed, right? So you can have a hard task figuring out who, but these guys want my data, they want my phone, they want my computer. So in the interest of the Adrianna Young case and the interest of justice, right, I'm making certain decisions, right? Or I took these decisions yesterday because I came back and made that post after I got this information from abroad, right? I made that post, and then I was I was called much later down, and because I was waiting, I was prepared for the police to come and collect me. I said, well, the guys, it seemed like they're not coming for you anymore. But they're still trying to build a justification. So I'm just telling you, if any harm comes to me, I'm not speaking to you in the spirit of fear, but should any harm come to me, I disappear, right, or anything like that, make no mistake that agents of this very same P.P.P government is who have been sent to collect me and do me harm. And whether they come and tell you whether they tell you is gosh, who is calling me? My phone is blowing up all of a sudden, right? Whether they tell you is they might come and say some drug war Francis was in, because you see Guyana Daily News, the same page that posted that I was in a car with gunmen on my way to shoot up a police station, right? They try and build this narrative of you, especially you guys love to attack intellectuals as well. You like to attack people who are simply here to promote thought, critical thought. I've noticed the pattern. Drum up a case, next thing you hear, Francis gunned down in execution style in some drug related crime. No, y'all go and look for the people shipping out tons and tons of cocaine. Look for them. It's not by my house, okay? I can't afford that, okay? You understand? Chicken raise and fish raise. The boy don't have bricks in his house, okay? And with regard to the information you guys want to get from my phone, I clear my phone. Guyana Police Force, President Irfan Ali, Vice President Jagdio. Clear my phone, okay? And a couple hours, I'll have a new phone. And this phone will not be the phone no more, okay? I've shunted myself from the drive structure of the evidence for the case that I told you that multiple people are working on compiling. I'm shunting myself off from it. And yeah, I'm gonna have to probably contact a person if I need a clip or something. But I'm pulling back from this thing, and I saw some stuff last night that when I read it, and I'm not gonna say nothing. When I read it, then I understand this thing deep. This is deep. When I read that, I said, this is deep. I understand why they're trying to move heaven and earth to cover up this case. So that was my final submission to the team for now. And that is shunted off. I've deleted my data if y'all want to know. And y'all could go and find it. It's mostly pictures of potholes. They're all over the place. I have gigabytes of potholes. That's mainly what I was covering until an innocent girl disappeared. We were told she was abducted, but she ended up dead in a pool that we confirmed she was not in. And on that note, I need all of you that have not seen it yet, you go check NEWSOURCE. It's going to be all over the news today, but check the live that Pastor Nigel did, Nigel Ellicam. I'm sorry if I've butchered the last name there. We have on Facebook. I posted a live from him yesterday. Go check that out, because that's wild. A gentleman died, drowned in a pool in Linden, I made to understand. Look at the footage. It's almost as if the universe is speaking to us. Look at that footage. That man drowned and his body is solidly at the bottom of the pool. The pool looked even deeper than 8 feet, and you could clearly see that man's shadow down there. Even a child as smaller, you would clearly see that shadow in there. Just that one death, it's very tragic. It's very tragic. But it totally dismantled that argument that Adrianna was not in the pool. Some of y'all might come to argue it was more clear, it was less clear. You would have seen a shadow, you would have seen a body in that pool. Look at them, look at the footage and look at the pictures that you're gonna see published of that gentleman. Rock bottom of the pool, lying straight out, not floating vertically. Never seen a drowned body like that, you know. He drowned like how people actually drown in real life. He real life drowned. I don't know how Adriana drowned, but like I said, I'm gonna back away. And wipe my data. I already did it. Okay, already. So I'm letting you know, Guyana Police Force, agents of the P.P.P government, under the leadership of Irfan Ali. If y'all are still sending your people to shoot me, murder me, harm me, lock me up, imprison me, detain me, and otherwise try to limit my constitutional rights to freedom of speech and freedom of association, then it's on you guys, right? It's on you guys. I don't have no data for you guys to come collect. I don't have no contacts for you to come and swipe from my phone. I don't have nothing for you anymore on my data, on my devices. Okay. So I've taken steps to secure myself. So the international team, like I told you, they're gonna continue to work, but you're not going to compromise the private work that's going on, and there's enough people on the team that I could pull myself away, and the work is still going to continue. All right. So if you're coming to harm me, just is because of maliciousness, and well, we all know. But I'm making this public because I'm still going to continue to live and enjoy my life in Guyana. And if y'all want to come and put bullet in me, that is fine. I've always been here at the service of the people. It's your decision, right? You say my life belongs to the people, so it is, right? But I'm not here in a spirit of fear, just of acknowledgement that there's so many murders, deaths in this country, and what makes me think and gives me pause for thought, never before in our history have I seen so many attempts. Like, I've never seen someone die, because y'all saying this girl died naturally from drowning, right? It didn't seem there was any force or anything. She died naturally. So why you trying to persecute anyone that has any opinion that is different or says maybe you should look at the facts or have an independent investigation? I've never seen so much effort to, go after, persecute the driver of the dad and try and criminalize the people in the family and lock up protesters or people that were there just innocently. Lock up the hooligans and people that were thieving, but y'all didn't catch most of them. Y'all lock up a lot of innocent people, shoot up a lot of innocent people. There's a trail of blood and bodies, if y'all ain't noticed, that lie behind Adriana in this quest for justice. There's already like nearly 4 bodies pile up, right, from people that get shot. Just coming out to show support. It's all of a sudden speaking, sharing even jokes, talking about this thing could get you charged for terrorism. It's like the population are being terrorized. Terror and fear is being driven into our hearts in every way, whether it involves threatening people, whether people got to get shot, whether police are come by your house and stoke ethnic tension because you're frightened, maybe it's black man outside or whichever, right? Everybody just scared and running wild just for asking simple questions. There's a line that says, thou doth protest too much. So, yeah, I love you guys, as I always say. Stay safe. I'm gonna continue to operate as normal. Like I said, I've dispossessed myself of the data relevant to this case in particular, and anything I thought you guys might find of interest on my devices, and shunted it to a safe location. So if you come to harm me, go right ahead. You know my location now, because I'm telling you guys after that live and all the corroborating evidence of being told that, yeah, my lives were being tracked, the police have the tech. Then after I finish a live, 10-day workers showing up by my house to ask if they got anywhere to rent, with B-man got anywhere to rent in the area, all looking sus, right? And then next thing I get called by the police coming and collect me at 3 in the morning. It's only because I made that post, I feel, and I just had a feeling, right? Why would people be calling you from overseas, taking time out of their night to tell you, hey, you're getting word from Guyana, boom, 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 watch out for yourself, XYZ happening, they're coming for you. And it's only because I made that post, because I don't know the government controlling Guyana Daily News, because they never do them nothing. How much defamation, look how much terrorists have been charged, and people for doing malicious things. Look how much malicious things Guyana Daily News does and gets away with. Action News gets away with it because it's supported by the state, right? And I could tell there's not no official news channel, it's not the police force. Maybe they forget to put it on the police force website first before they put it on Guyana Daily News. It's like one and the same. You say people get abducted, no footage. You can say a man abducted, a girl arrested, no footage. You can say anything, no evidence needed. Y'all just make up anything and pin it on somebody. Arrest them, charge them, brutalize them, right? State sanctioned violence. So, yeah, stay safe. And your ex, you know, but though. It's not UX, it's Amir Ahmad that owns it. So, anyhow, stay safe, be wary. The dictatorship is watching, it has eyes on you. It is trying to tap your phone, get into your devices, and all of this in a celebration of the freedom of speech constitutionally guaranteed to each of the citizens of this great republic. I don't know if we're feeling so great right now, but yeah, there's my updates for now. And yeah, well, y'all know my address, and I'm just letting everybody know that y'all came to verify my address as well. I'm still here. Love you guys.
Police force, not a wild voice note saying to the public this was deliberate. This is not somebody record and leak a video from the police. I want to see the video up to, I don't care who the statement came from the police, right? But this girl with somebody recording, you're pulling a whole thing like a distraction and wanted bulletin. How am I going to agree to that? I'm saying, just if you want to hold this girl accountable, get me right. Hold yourself and come with the truth with this video there. Who get charged for that? And we went that day. Let me tell you, Novella, I was there. When that body it was said appear in the pool. Oh my God. Listen, people could have died. People just went, they could not have believed that the state was lying to us.
Yeah.
Novella, how you tell me police barred the place and said, no, we tell you go.
And they've searched.
And we searched. And we investigated. We got this thing out of control. And then this body show up in the presence of the police and in the presence of everybody. Look, this body in the police. People, you can't imagine what I was
psyche of, yeah.
You can't imagine.
And what a minister,
as an adult,
while all of this,
I could never.
The commander was still telling the people on the ground in real time when they found the body, was still talking. The commander was saying to the people, there's a video, remember when he bent down in the thing and he said, oh, there's a video to the parents. Could you imagine?
But listen, nobody's denying that. But what I'm saying, that wickedness to this nation, that wicked, that's not unlawful. People are so sad. Let's get right here. People are sad for all these things. People are broken. But you come in to exercise power on a voice note against a mother of two little children. She in the lockup and she wanted and all of that. You can first hold yourself accountable and responsible. You must lead by example. You must lead by example, but again, I'm sorry to say to a lot of people, and I'm going to say to the world, with the P.P.P government, people are expecting too much.
Still.
And so they feel with all this money, they were expecting too much. And some people will not come out here to jump under my comment section, but they're in the houses and all about the place, and you want me to tell you something? They are still defending what you see out there.
Wow.
And there's a lot of people on Facebook and all over and gonna comment nicely. But when they come off of Facebook, me mean able, Me a time without some, and they have a different story, but to stand up for that good change, they don't even want to do that. So I asked the question, do we really ready for that good change?
I think some of us are.
And if once some of us are, Novella, then I want to ask us, let us stand one for another. You hear what I'm telling you? And stand up and fight this good fight. So that even the people who ain't ready, at the end of the day, all of us will be in a better place. Because the reason I asked the question, I am not out here if you thinking whether you're ready or not. If you want to or not, if you like me or not, if you cuss me or not as a leader, I'm not out here because of that. I know better, and I know you deserve better, and we deserve better, and as a nation we deserve better, and I'm going to fight for that good change for all of us so that we could live that good life. We got to get good changes in this country. So I just wanted to put that right there to all of us this morning, right there.
And we got to know what good change looks like and what it is.
Yeah.
It's not a symbol. It's not a picture. It would be leaders that can truly, in the good and the bad times, stand. It would be leaders that has integrity.
The first
leaders
thing, sorry, Novella, I don't want to cut you. The
okay.
first thing must be a leader with a heart for people.
Yeah.
The problem with leaders, and I've seen it, and I continue to see it, they ain't got no heart for people, you know, they want power. The men in the jail, they got a million different excuses. Because you know why? That's why this when you gotta go fight for people. Nobody want to fight for people. The people want power to rule over people.
Well, there is no you see, you have to be a servant leader. You have to be ready to serve. And the serving is serving the people. And if you don't want to serve the people, then you can't be a servant leader. And so this morning I want to, without liberty, I want to say, first of all, let me recognize, because I know you as a woman don't like talking about yourself and what you do, but on your own life, let me just thank you on behalf of the nation and the people that understands what good change looks like and they understand what good leadership looks like. It's not leaders that are waiting in the shadows to see when someone else is trying to do something and then they come and tag along. Leadership is when that the battlefield is completely in a place, it's hot, and there's so much going on that leader will stand in the middle of the fire for folks. And so Miss Simona Brooms, we want to thank you for standing on the battlefield with those citizens that are experiencing pain, leaving your beautiful, whether it was a Saturday afternoon or Saturday morning, and going to a jail or on a holiday. I just want to talk about leadership, because a whole lot of us run around here and we want to talk about leadership we must be talking about leadership with the little L, because leadership with the big L requires you to stand up and to be able to demonstrate your capacity and your capability and your love for people, that you would leave the confines of your beautiful home and come out and go to a jail on a holiday looking for the citizens that have been arrested and incarcerated. That's what you call great leadership. Okay? Enough of them gonna come around and say, oh, I'm this and they're all, because the look is positional and power is what they're looking for. But good leaders and great leaders, not good leaders, but great leaders will get up when it is inconvenient and they would do the right thing. Like this woman that I've just invaded her life, to be able to say, we thank you. We thank you. We see you. We see you. We see what you are doing. We honor you today, because a lot of them can't do it. They want to do it. And the way it is the proper inconvenience of, oh, I can't be seen in a particular posture. I can't be seen standing for the scrapes of how they're denigrating our citizens, even when they're responsible for creating the conundrum and the nonsense that is called those citizens and that live in them. That you have stood and you're standing with the least of these. You're standing in the gap for those that don't have it. You're bringing out and you're holding leadership accountable, and you're calling them up to be able to call them in and say, if you want to serve, service is not a day of voting that you want a position. It is the day of serving when the people are in the darkness, when they are deep down in the valley and there is no hope. That's leadership. And so I want to thank you this morning for standing for the people. And when I hope the people will remember when it's time for vote, they better remember to go and check ALP. Okay?
Come out from the Guyana police force, not a wild voice note, saying to the public this was deliberate. This is not somebody record and leak a video from the police. I want to see the video up to, I don't care who the statement came from the police. Right? But this girl with somebody recording, you're pulling a whole thing like a distraction. I wanted.
One love, Delta 9 family. Welcome back, and thanks again for joining us here on Delta 9 Media. Now, today, we're updated that a supporter, a person who supported the proper investigation of what went down with that young girl, Adrianna, has met their end in a pool of water. I hope that person's got a chance to see that, and we will be following and updating on everything that's going on with that incident right there. As well, Mr. Bailey, you saw I put the content up. Allegedly, Daily News is going after him and creating certain scenarios that would make it easier for persons to infiltrate his public space and put our brother in harm. So I'm asking that persons record that piece of information that he put up in his own words for his protection and share it far and wide so that persons can see what is going on in Guyana, so that persons can be updated with what's taking place in our country. This situation that we see is bubbling and bubbling and bubbling up. It's going to continue to get more tenuous because we're in an election year and certain persons got certain perspectives in their mind that they can continue to do certain things, hold certain people in a certain perspective in their mind and think that you're supposed to be okay with being cast down into being a lesser citizen in your own country. Now, here on Delta 9 Media, we just make sure that we bring both sides of the information and keep it neutral. Present the information so that you can understand what is going on. Now, we're going to tune into some information that was being presented by our brother Freddie Kissoon on his show. It's good to hear how persons think about what is going on so that you can get a complete analysis as to why certain things are taking place and why we don't see certain things being handled in a particular manner. If you haven't already, it don't cost you nothing. Subscribe, buddy, so that you can stay updated with all of this trending and important information. Because guess what? In this video, you're going to hear charandass make a statement, and I want Guyanese and all persons in the diaspora to pay attention to just that perspective. And then we're going to look at the actions that follow and see if others might be holding this same view. Let's jump into the content right now.
Supermarkets were looted. I want to tie in
the nature of the, I want to tie in the victims to what you said on this program a few minutes ago. If I think, I can't remember exactly what you said, you had the opportunity or what, you yourself would have protested, and you're an Indian.
If it was a peaceful protest.
Yeah. So this thing had a multiracial resentment about what happened. How did it end up with all the business looted, all the trucks that were burned, all the people that were beaten were Indian? It just pierces your psyche that this wasn't the election of PNC versus P.P.P. I saw Indian people outside that hotel protesting. Tushin is a village. How did this thing end up with the victims just being Indians? I'm going to ask around the table.
Freddie, even before I go there, I just want to make a few points with regard to the postmortem says by drowning. If somebody is stabbed, the postmortem says probably hemorrhaging caused by XYZ. It doesn't tell you who or what the circumstances. That has to come out.
But could we
forensic investigation, which needs to take place. I just want to make this point. Scientifically, a body takes 2 to 3 days to surface.
But I want to avoid that because none of us are pathologists here. Let's leave that.
These are facts that are...
No. Nigel, you said the president cannot pronounce that there's no forced wrongdoing. He's not a pathologist.
Okay, fine.
Right. Darren Wade said the Minister of Health said you can't have a second postmortem in certain circumstances. It will be a problem for the law. Darren Wade said the Minister of Health is not a lawyer. And that is what complicates these matters when you're not a pathologist, you're not a lawyer. Let us look at the political aspects of these things and keep in safe water with that. So could we move on?
I want to say this.
Could we move on?
I was part of a struggle for, and you know this, tremendous amount of years. We had protests, okay? But I can't remember the W.P.A, the PDM, the P.P.P, the UF ever participating after elections that were obviously rigged in looting and so on. I'm going to make myself quite clear. The majority of looting thing takes place after elections when the P.P.P would have been declared the winner. That's historically correct. 92, 97, 201, violence after the elections. Then we had the seizure of Buxton, and then we had it in 2020, and then we had it with the Monrepo, and now we have it. Now, the leader, everybody should have come out. Every single party should have come out and categorically condemned the violence that took place, the beating, and I've also written letters about the point you made. The violence is directed against a particular grouping, which makes it race hate violence. It's a race hate violence because beat everybody. Why every time, whether it was West Coast or where it was Monrepo, it was directed to a particular grouping. Now, the Norton was talking about the P.P.P. paying talks to infiltrate.
And Nigel Hughes.
I think that's the most, look, I don't like the P.P.P. I'd be fighting against them. I just lost my job again criticizing them. So I am not P.P.P. But don't tell me in 92, in 97, in 201,
2002,
the Caesar,
2005 in Buxton.
who took over the Buxton? The P.P.P. took over Buxton. And we go on the Monrepo. It was clear, the video showed the people who stole went into Golden Grove and they distributed the stuff. So don't tell me P.P.P. left Monrepo, carried the goods in Golden Grove and distributed it. It's nonsense. To my mind, it's unfortunate what the PNC is doing, and it's doing it to their detriment.
And the A.F.C.
It's doing it to their detriment.
Now, hold a moment.
No, let them finish, please.
It's doing it, in other words, when they think this thing is going to put the P.P.P. in bad light and hurt the P.P.P., it's hurting them. Now, I do not understand if the P.P.P. now like paid a couple of hundred thugs to go and steal and burn and whatever, and then arrested 100 and something of them. Did they arrest their own thugs? So those people would have said, hello, you're the one who paid me, now you're charging me. So it is an absurdity. I would have expected the A.F.C., every single political and civil organization in this country should have come out and categorically condemned. So when you're talking nonsense about PPPing thugs and whatever, to my mind, it's absurd and ridiculous. And that's just feeding into their support, which to my mind is diminishing because the sensible people would not buy such nonsense.
Sharon, I saw a journalist ask Nigel Hughes about how do people feel, the truck driver whose truck was burnt, the people. And Nigel Hughes answered the question by saying, those were urgent provocateurs that came from the P.P.P.
You gotta be kidding me.
Here was my question to you. This has to be a fantastic machinery, the P.P.P. That just as soon as the post-mortem was announced, and the father said, in Hope Town, in Sophia, in Eccles, in Region 3, these people were lightning, organize these when people look at Nigel, you saying that, the topic of this discussion tonight is how does that affect the election results? And I think this event of what happened Monday is going to change the permutations in the next couple of months.
Freddie, you see, these politicians, and I'm talking about the politicians from the A.F.C., the P.N.C., and even this man who describes himself as a doctor, Dr. David Hines. There's a call. You heard Mark BENCHOP. Who is Mark BENCHOP? Unknown. Anyways, leave that out for now. He said, why are you not blocking the Borby Street? Why is that bridge not blocked as yet? Why are you asking people to block a bridge that facilitates the whole public? Anybody can use that bridge. You want to block the bridge. For what reason? Is that what you do when you protest?
The board bridges too.
Then David Hines said, oh, what they're doing is right. Like, what are you hoping to gain? Then you're blaming the government. Look, again, contrary to some of your beliefs out there, I have never voted P.P.P. I am not a P.P.P. member. Leave that out for now, because I just said that because I want you to understand. There's no love lost between me and the P.P.P. But I will tell you, why are you blaming the government and asking, for example, the Commissioner of Police to resign because of what happened? If your child goes outside there and gets in a fight and stabs somebody, you, the father, should go to jail? These things will happen. Now, what happens afterwards, how it's handled, and I don't know. I don't know that you politicians who are hoping, dreaming like Nigel Hughes, that they will get a seat in Parliament. I said it so many times, I want to say it again. The A.F.C. self-destruct. Nigel Hughes is no magician. And you need to ask the people what role he had in the no confidence and in the election fiasco of 2020. Now, those are things that will come out. This man still has to answer to the people, but he's coming out with Patterson and Ramjatan, and they want votes. They're doing what they do because they think that will give you a view of the P.P.P. that will then result in you voting for them. Is that what politicians do? Is that how they go out and garner votes? Go there and sell to the people yourself and your goals for the people. What you can do for the people, and expect that they will believe you if it's convincing enough, and hope that you may deliver on your promises. Of course, the A.F.C. never delivered, and we all know that. So why do you think Nigel Hughes, as leader of the A.F.C., will deliver? My friends, they are moving on the wrong platform when they're looking to get votes, because to incite violence, to cause young children and teachers in a bus to be molested and put their lives in danger.
Acid, thrown acid
on children. Come on, man, I get goosebumps even thinking of that. And we're fighting for Adriana Young's demise and want to know why she died, how she died. And these are all concerned. This is the result of it. This is how you're going to find answers. The stupidity of these politicians, and some of them who, to me, I can't describe them as fools. They're beyond being foolish, way beyond that. They expect to get votes by doing this. You blame the government. The government did as much as they could have done to determine the cause of death. We're not satisfied with that. No, we're not. A lot of us are saying second postmortem. The doctors, I don't know what you want. And why are you blaming the president or the government of Guyana for what happened? You expect to get votes by doing that. Freddie,
Malcolm.
So we had a chance right there to hear the views of a former MP, a person who used to be a part of those that would make certain decisions for the country. Now he's finding his affiliation on the other side of the political spectrum. And here he said, government do everything that they could do in their power to help that little girl. And why are we still blaming the leaders, the persons in power that could have did something since the night before, that could have do something and send the resources over there from one of the most wealthiest countries in the world with less than 1 million people to make sure that something was done in a professional capacity to ensure that little girl safety was at the top. But guess what? It's important that we have scholars in our midst. It's important that we honor these scholars, because you hear how we disrespecting the Honorable Dr. Hines, and he probably never even studied in the capacity or serve in the capacity with our people to even have that conversation in his mouth. So we got to now find ourselves the focus that we need in these couple of months, because you could already see and hear the perspectives of those. Now we're going to hear from the scholars G.H.K. Lal and the Honorable Dr. David Hines. They can explain to we what's really going on the ground, because now you're hearing that allegedly a lot of Indian persons were somehow victimized in this last situation, this unrest that was created because of the Adrianna Young incident. But it's always good to have a scholar break it down. And right now, that's what we're going to do. If you are not already subscribed and you haven't thumbs up the video yet, thumbs up the content. Let the world see what's going on in Guyana. And subscribe, buddy. It don't cost you nothing to subscribe.
As the young people would put it, skin Guyana up. Just as the election 5 years ago, skin up Guyana, and we call it all kind of thing. This time is this child's death that has skinned this country up again, and pointing us to the point that we're a Mickey Mouse country that need to get itself right. And it raises so many questions. And I want to take you in a direction. You can comment on the parallel when you go to this comment. I want to take you to this question. For all they say that those people were looters and thieves and gangsters, and there was mayhem and riot in a racially sensitive society, it is not insignificant that not an Indian was attacked by those mainly African protesters. Most of the businesses In fact, I have not seen a case where an Indian business was targeted. The point I'm making, in all of this mayhem, this riot by these crazy people in an ethnically divided society, Indians were not attacked as Indians. Their businesses were not targeted. The one instant where we had 2 little children, something was thrown on them mysteriously. We have all the scrapers getting rounded up, and the 2 boys or whoever they were that throw the acid then get pulled in for fitness yet. That is what I'm saying. Those of us who running with mouth and talking about riot and mayhem, any riot and mayhem in an ethnically divided society, you normally would see, and we have seen it in Guyana, where ethnic groups are targeted because they belong to a certain ethnic group. But this riot last week, Indians were not targeted. Their businesses were not targeted by mainly African things. I've not heard the P.P.P and their leaders say that. I've not heard the opposition leaders say that. And I'm putting the opposition leaders there because they are equally culpable. They do not want to speak to the people in their own language. They were quick to condemn looting. And I am, tonight before you answer, I want to say, David Hines, congratulate the protesters for not allowing themselves to be drawn into an ethnic confrontation. I am congratulating those people who they're calling looters and scrapers and so on, because they've done something remarkable, remarkable in this big riot, this big mayhem, all the outpouring. Indians were not targeted. And there's something else I want to observe. The so-called looting and rioting according to Georgetown. There wasn't any looting and rioting in Buxton. No looting and rioting in Denhamstel. No looting and rioting at Golden Grove. No looting and rioting at Belladrum and Hopetown. These are facts that Guyana must look at in the face when you're calling people dogs and so on. And I'm talking to some of you all black people, because some of you all use this stupid language. And not sitting back and say, let's wait and make sense of what we saw. Gabriel, over to you. You don't have to own anything that I said, but I've thrown something on the table. Over to you.
Well, that's one of the mysteries to me, that you've got this outbreak of frustration and rage. You've got all these pictures, all these reports coming to you by the minute, the second, Facebook, whatever, in the times we live in. And all I keep hearing from then and a week now, the Chinese, the Chinese, the Chinese. And I'm saying this is a great degree of discipline. You call it something else. I am saying this is a tremendous amount of awareness. I mean, it's not that Indian people gone out of business. Are we inviting anybody to attack Indian businesses or target Indian people? But it was stark in its absence.
That's right.
It was blinding in its absence, that you've got people running out of control, and yet they were so they were controlled. That is only one way they're going. And if you notice something that you left out that I thought you were going to, is, correct me here, is largely food places.
There you go. There you go.
So I hear nothing but electronics, which is high price thing.
Right.
And you got Chinese and Indians have that, and phone places and all them things. It's food supermarkets. Supermarkets the brunt of this thing. And so I am saying, yes, we have to take cognizance of what you repeated in your couple of minutes there just now. In a ethnically polarized society, sharply and deeply so. I mean, I may not know the history as I certainly don't know the history as profound, as deeply as you. But this one, he has got this unprecedented feel about it, that the Chinese are the ones that bore the brunt of the anger, of the outbursts, of the lootings. But I can tell you something my man tell me. They were near to a place. I could share this with you folks. I don't think he will. And what? And they go to these people, about 5 of them, he and he bodyguards and so on, and they're armed. And the young black fellas tell them, he says, sir, we hungry. And he said, well, what do I do then? In this country that is so economically viable and vigorous, why people talking about hunger? And that's one of the things that have been going on for the past several years, 4 years, 5 years. You talk about cost of living, they slap you down. You talk about crime, you slap them down. And the solving of crimes and the biases in crimes. And you come to this child's story that is a mystery that grows by the day, or started out that way and became a bigger mystery. And then you come to this explosion, expression. And you say, why? I'm still struggling with that. Why only the Chinese? What, you know, I mean, yes, they think big and visible. You can't miss them when they're there in almost every neighborhood. But so are other stores with very, very high price items that you don't have a truck to fetch. You could fetch it in your hand, right? You could fetch it in your hand. And they have Indians and Chinese stores who got these things. And I mean, it makes sense for thief there.
Yes, yes.
But younger there.
Oh, yeah.
So again, I go back to this little poor expression of mine to say, the looters, the rampagers, whatever you want to call it, they were disciplined enough to steer themselves in one direction and one direction only.
That's right.
As we say in America, I think you have a large diasporan audience here. If the thing looked too smooth or it looked too tilted, then it is that way.
Yes.
Something wrong with it. Something is a setup with it. Something fixed with it. Something smells about it. And I think that's what we have here. We had a situation where I said to myself, and look, I'll tell everybody. When I first heard about the abduction of this girl, I say here, you know what, police? These them people on the road there, all the Christianity in me abandoned me. I said they should tear them out from limb to limb, from limb by limb. Guess what I'm thinking? I am thinking of a sexual predator.
Yes.
But the thing is not right? That is me ignorance here, and I'll confess that publicly. Nobody talking about that at all. Nobody ever spoke about that. And then it became to this thing about sacrifice and cover up. Oh, she was taken in a vehicle. And then she's dead. She's found drowned. And then we talking about autopsies, and we want to hear about the local autopsy. We want to hear about the local police. And I'll be frank here, I don't even want to hear about the FBI now, because the FBI, where it is today, and where Guyana is with the USA, I can't take nothing that they give to me.
There you go.
I mean, it's a sad state, and it's a sorry thing for me to say, but I got to say it.
Yes.
I got to say it. If we're going to be frank here and honest with ourselves, this is the place where we come in this country and at the worst time in this world. Because what is making sense here? What is real? What is truth? We got back to Pontius Pilate, right? I mean, unfortunately, what is truth, my brothers and sisters? I don't know the fullness of truth, but I can tell you what I know. I know something that didn't look right because it didn't right. The whole, as you know, they go back to the thing. If it walk like a duck and quack like a duck and look like a duck, it is a damn duck at the end of the day. It's nothing but a duck. And what we got here is duck and drake, right? We got this story where the politicians kicked into their normal gear and telling me, but we're gonna look into this clearly. We're gonna have a thorough investigation. And I promise you this. You promised me there was cotton tree, right?
Yes.
Are we still there where we there?
Yes.
Right? If you run into the man house in Dartmouth, we name again, or in Boston, and say he had a gun in his hand. The man lying down in the bed with the wife, and he got a gun in his hand. He had a gun, right? I mean, so you always have these incidents, these murderous incidents where they got the spiel, as the Jewish people say, already orchestrated, right? And so they put it out there, and they've always got suction with it. This time, from the Chinese to the police, from the police to the pathologists to the Chinese people, what we got here, nobody really in buying. Because I'll tell you this, and I put it before the folks here. When the people they're thinking that they're half a block from me, right? You see, you're seeing these green gun, half a block, street block from me. So I could have heard the guns firing. I could have heard the knives. And I take a peep. There are 2 police cars at the end of the thing all day. I went out, come back, 2 police cars. I went down the same street and stand up in front of a government office with some people. And I tell a man, we're in the car now, in the avenue, as we said. I said, they had about 3-4 police. We protested about something else. This is about a month ago. I say, you special branch. He said, no, I don't like that word. Young black guy. I said, what word do you like? He said, intelligence. I said, good. Just give them the right intelligence about what we're doing here, right? You can tell me them had plans in that, official plans in that group, and to recognize, well, where it's at and the temperature of it. But it's when the thing go out of hand, and we know about the people with the special orientation who get government contracts and who got friends in high places, who were the agitators in that peaceful protest. And when the thing busts out, then the police come in with their shield and their whatever. I am remembering, folks, the march that, correct me here, that started in Golden Grove, peaceful, they're trudging along, singing their song, whatever. And when it near for reach Manripo, let's call it the Indian market, the police did what I would call that a tactical retreat. Right? And give the people space, the thugs that were planted, space for carry on. And the president ran there the next day with the envelopes ready. I say, wait, man, like you don't know this thing would happen. And so again, I'm getting flashbacks to there. And I say, look, I see this thing before. And indeed it was so with money on his own. Oh, yes. Black thugs and Indian victims and so on and so forth. Nobody talking about Indian victims this time. We're talking about Chinese. Right? And that's the peculiarity and the mystery of this thing here in the middle of this mysterious death. So what we got is mystery upon mystery upon mystery. And we really getting nowhere with it because we ourselves are so connected to the old narratives that the few of us who separate from it, we are too few. So now we're saying, oh, we've got to bring in the international folks and we've got to go here. We've got to look at where we are as a country, my brothers and sisters. Every damn thing in this country, from an election to cutting up a dead body, excuse me, family, to examining a dead child's body. We entrust we own people. We got to go, catch a plane, bring a man in a plane and say, or a set of people in a plane and say, I check out this thing for me. I mean, are we a country? You said, what was it? You said a comic book. You said something else.
P.P.P. Now listen to this. They want the FBI to investigate Papershorts murder. And I have said, rightly so. But why only call in the FBI or send evidence to the FBI or what is considered to be evidence to the FBI to verify. Why can't they do that for this little girl? Why are they just holding on to the police force investigating this crime when no one trusts the Guyana police force except some members of the Guyana police force, Jack Dale and Irfan? They're the only ones who trust the Guyana police force. 99% of people in that country do not trust the Guyana police force. So if Irfan Ali has nothing to hide, and Irfan Ali is not, and the Commissioner of Police of Guyana, if they are not protecting the owner of the hotel, then why not call in the FBI to investigate this matter, to investigate the senior ranks on the scene, to run their phones and all manner of things, and to talk to workers at the hotel? Some workers may want to talk. They might be eyewitnesses. But you cannot be the eyewitness to what happened, everything that happened, and remain in Guyana because you know what's going to happen if you are a whistleblower. You know exactly what's going to happen. So if the FBI steps in, if the Americans step in and want to conduct an investigation, because I've seen press releases issued by the U.S. Embassy in Guyana calling for peace and calling for justice and so forth. Fair enough. Fair enough. But it should go further than that. The U.S. should say that they are willing to send in a team of FBI, a team of investigators to get to the bottom of this. They should offer that service to the government of Guyana. Don't wait for the government of Guyana to say that is what they want, because we're going to wait a long time. They're not going to say that. And so the U.S. should offer that. The Canadians should offer that. The UK should offer that as well, not just statements. And the statements are welcome, but go further than that. If you believe and you want justice for the family, then offer an investigative team, maybe of FBI, Scotland Yard, or wherever, to go to Guyana to investigate. And once those investigators are in the country and they start to interview those workers at the time of the hotel, trust me, it's bingo. Not Francine type of bingo, but bingo. One or two persons will be willing and ready to spill the beans. But you know what? They have to be protected. And even if they have to be flown out of the country with some close members of their families, but so be it. So be it. Get to the bottom of this matter. The government, in my opinion, wants to cover up this crime. It must not be allowed to be covered up. I have said more than enough for the night. Is there anything else I wish to bring to your attention before I leave? We spoke about the allegations of 20 million Guyana dollars being offered or given. And now, let me make this quite clear. Allegations. And some serious allegations have to be treated properly. It has to be investigated. That is why I'm saying the police force can no longer conduct any investigations concerning the death, the murder of 11-year-old Adrianna Young. They can no longer, they are discredited from any form of investigations. Why? Because they're being accused of covering up the crime. They are being accused of covering up the crime. So now if members and senior members of the Guyana Police Force are being accused of covering up a crime, do you think the people, the relatives, the parents, and the community, and by extension, the entire country, do you think they will get justice? I doubt that. On the issue of the pathologist, lots of unanswered questions. Lots and lots of unanswered questions. So you heard that the family of Adrianna Young, they wanted to have their own, so to speak, independent pathologists to be in the country. The government twists, the turn. Notice every single thing the government twisting and turning. It's like you're batting, those of you who like cricket. And if you got to face a ball from Joel Garner or Kapil Dev and those sort of things, that's the government right now. They can't, they're not able to handle the fast bowling. So they got to twist and turn. So every single thing they're twisting and turning, because they're hoping that this matter is going to quiet down. It's going to quiet down. The people are going to bury their little, beautiful little daughter. And that's the end of the story. That is what they want. They don't want justice. They want it to be quiet down so that they can get back to some sort of regular programming until elements of the police force go out and strike again. Be careful, guys. Be extra careful with these Pacos. They do not care about you. Listen to this statement. Isn't this public mischief?
Right across Ghana, when the ministers of Granger or Nagamutu come here after the 21st of March, you say to them, walk behind them, chase them out, they're going to be illegal. Say to them, you're illegal. Free up the country, you're undemocratic.
Public mischief indeed, but it is what it is. It looks as though public mischief is only one set of people. Terrorism is only one set of people. And we know that set. We know that set of people. We know what it's about. Poor Guyana, right? Poor Guyana. I'm glad that the family now has a new lawyer, some new lawyers on board. And this is just my opinion. This is not knocking anybody. Everybody has a role to play, but sometimes people have to know what role they're capable of playing. From the inception, the family needed strong and competent legal advisors. From the inception, the family needed strong and competent medical advisors. In my opinion, those two elements, those two important elements were missing. People are offering up their opinions. And instead of accept those opinions and criticisms as constructive, you have the quote-unquote doctor for the family insulting individuals and insulting people and calling them junkie and all manner of things. No wonder why the case is where it is today. Enough said of that. I'll be back tomorrow. Same place, same time. Rhonda Lane, how are you? Every single one of you. How are you doing tonight? But continue.
Inform the public that I saw the entire video footage of the 90 seconds it took for Henry to drown. There was no foul play based on observation. Nobody pushed him in the water. When he got to the end of the pool, he tried to hold on and his hand couldn't reach. He was tiring for some reason, and he began to sink. I did not, and I would not show that to the public right now unless the family tells me that I should. I am not responsible and reckless just for people to have entertainment. He has a daughter who's grieving. He has a daughter who's in extreme pain at this time. And unless she and the son say to me, yes, go ahead and share the information with the public to see, I will just tell you that I have turned that footage or put it into the hand of the police officers who are investigating. And I want you to hear my language as clearly as possible, please. Based on the observation of the video, it is suspected that there was no foul play. Listen to the language. However, there has to be an autopsy performed, and they will examine to see whether there was any situation whereby P.P.P was drugged and he received some liquor before or whatever. You do not know. Okay? And that's the point I'm making. There has to be thoroughness in anything regarding investigations. You realize that I'm not jumping to conclusions. I said based on the video footage that I saw, that the police saw, I ensured that his family saw it. They could see that Henry was in the pool. Nobody pushed him. I showed you that much, that he was in the pool. Somebody called and was insisting that they should not have the video out there. For whatever reason, that's personal interest. I don't know why. Because I would like to think that in the light of what our country is facing, We don't want to have every police officer seen as a suspect and treated as though they are. I also like to sit here and tell you that the police who were on the scene were extremely professional, extremely respectful, extremely aware of the situation, and they did everything that they could to ensure that there was no disruption. I commend the Lindeners who were there as well, the onlookers who listened to what we said that we have this. They could see that I was there. Okay? These things are important for us to speak to, because when the police cooperate with the citizens and shows that they have our best interests at heart, we don't become violent people. We are not unreasonable and insane. Guyanese are not stupid and mad people to just start fighting anywhere. The police, I commend them highly. Linden, again, would have been chosen to be an example, yet again, on the good side. Officer Petrie and others, I commend her. She was Sergeant Petrie. She handled the situation very well. Okay? The family told her what they wanted me to do. She allowed me to do so. Why? Because you don't want to create disruption and people, why? And create all kinds of ruckus. No. I commend Officer Petrie. I give credit to its due. That's me. This time she did, and the other officers who were there, investigative ranks, they did it very well. Why? Because there is a need for there to be wisdom in this country. So everybody officer in the police force isn't bad. We have to have an understanding that more so, as I said to you, I would not be so reckless just to have a 100,000, 200,000, 1 million views on my page. So I just put Henry drowning. When you look at somebody drowning, I want you to process. That's a life leaving somebody. Please pay attention. If I show you the video of him drowning, you're going to see this man dying in your face. Somebody else may have a family, a relative who drowned. How would they feel? So this is not going to happen. You won't have any baiting from me or baiting me to show you some things because you have this penchant. It's not penchant, by the way. It's a French term. This penchant for just information. It's not going to happen. And if you distrust me, then do not be on my page. It's also that simple. What I do know is that those who have eyes to see can see that from the road, not from the poolside, where critic was, from the road, you could see a whole human being. And Yahweh has it that Henry's thin-boned, like Adrianna would have been, not much taller than Adrianna would have been. We can see from the road. We stood behind a gate and we could see his hand in 8 feet of water. What can you possibly tell me now? What can A.F.C say to me at this time? I live right here. You know where I live. Send the police to arrest me for obstruction of justice and perverting justice. You send them to me. You send them. No, actually, you come here, fan. You come yourself. You come here, fan. Yourself. Tell me. But what I'm saying now means I'm perverting justice. That man, when I checked the timestamp, I could tell you, at just before 10 o'clock, Henry began to sink in the pool. Just before 10. He was removed out of the water. He didn't catch cramp. No, he didn't. He was removed out of the water 11 hours later. That's just after 9. Henry spent 11 hours in a pool, submerged. 11 hours. He didn't float to the top. What could make Adrianna float in the manner she did? Because we have to connect the two. We have to connect the two here. What? Look at the quality, look at the texture of his skin, because I showed you that much. You saw his skin in being a chlorinated pool, being in a chlorinated pool for 11 hours. Did you see Henry's skin bruising anywhere? They said the bruises on his skin are consistent with drowning. Do you see discoloration in his face and his forearm? Same chlorine water, same chlorine here. But I will not show you any video of a man drowning. It will not happen. I don't care what you say. I'm not baited into the minds of people who are just insensitive. I respect the fact that there are people who can be triggered. I respect the fact that there are people who can be triggered by these videos. The mothers who lost their son by drowning, the fellow who drowned in 2012, who they claim drowned in 2012 at the same AA hotel pool. How must his mother feel? Nobody pulled him under the water. That's forceful drowning. From indications, he jumped into the pool and he swam to the shallows, the 5-foot side, spent a while there. He returned, and when he was swimming back to the deeper side of the pool, he reached his hand to touch the rail. His hand missed. He was obviously tired. For whatever reason, he can swim, but at that moment, he was tired. It took about 90 seconds because according to medical science, it takes about 90 seconds, 1 minute, 90 seconds to 2 minutes max for somebody to drown. When he drowned, he was completely submerged. He didn't float around on the bottom of the pool because there's no current in the pool. Did I not tell you that from the beginning? Huh? I told you that there's no current in a pool, so you cannot drown in the shallow end and end up in the deep end. I thank Yahweh for being faithful. I thank Yahweh for being faithful. You hear me? Because there's a record when I told you yesterday. I told you day before yesterday as well, Fanali, that once, especially yesterday, once an apostle of Yeshua is involved, not Jesus, once an apostle of Yeshua HaMashiach is involved in something, don't play with us. I told you that. Do not play with us. You don't want to learn. I told you months ago that you will be embarrassed on an international stage. I told you that. Did not tell you that, Fanali? I told you, Fanali, that you, Yahweh, will embarrass you internationally. The world will see that you are disgraced. Did I not tell you that? Now, you sat before this nation, and you said that forensic pathologists, I'm doing a whole broadcast here after this. Forensic, which one of them was a forensic pathologist? Which one? Ruled out. Listen to your terminology. They ruled out that somebody put Adrian in the pool. So you saw Henry. I know you see it. You see Henry at the bottom of that pool. You saw his body. Why he wasn't on the top of the water? What is there for you to cover up? There were over 60 people present. Not one Fanali. There were over 60 people standing, including the mayor of Linden, who can attest to the fact that where we were standing and where they were standing beyond the fence, because I ensured that people weren't coming into them and run around the pool. I don't do that. We preserve a scene, or this is not a crime scene. We didn't know what scene it was, but we preserved the scene. I didn't go walk around by the pool and walking all over the place. How can you finally tell me and tell Guyana and the world that the pathologist ruled out forcible drowning? How? You saw the mayor stood there with me, or those who saw, there were people outside of the fence, the highlighter and others were there, some of you on the broadcast now. Could you not see Henry in the pool? Those of you who I showed from Facebook on the platform, did you not see a man at the bottom of that pool? And you have a child drowned and she's in an upright position. When they took Henry out of the water after 11 hours on the water, bubbles were still coming out of his nose. That, I told you yesterday, that's what froth is. I told you yesterday that froth, what kind is called froth, is when bubbles are in your nose, not cotton wool stuck in your nose. There's no froth that's thick and white. There's no froth, or we call froth, that y'all permit me to do this. I don't want to do it, but let me do it. Let me do this, please. So people only relate to information a certain way. This can't be froth. We have Akani said he wants to have a reenactment. That's what you call perfection, and Akani did the broadcast. It's unfortunate that a girl lost her father, but Akani insisted he wants reenactment. And the man who told me, Akani is a witness, he could tell her the truth. I went and I said to Henry, can we go into the pool? Because the pool is closed. He said, come. Actually, the gate was closed. He said, come. Y'all come. He told me to come. He said, you're the man who I saw essentially with the video and so on. Henry said, he gave me a pound at that. And I said, I want to go in the pool. He said, go ahead. Just change your clothes and show you bathe and stuff. You go and do it because we need to see. People need to know what's happening. And you tell me to hell that you can find Adriana with this, and you call it froth? Huh? You can find Adriana with this, and grown men who bend over this child right close to her saying, what cut would in on the nose? And you will tell me that froth, Caleb? Huh? When you could see bubbles coming out of a man's nose? 11 hours underwater. And when they took him out, bubbles were still coming out of his nostril, because that's how you know somebody drowned. When they turn him over, please, I'm being grotesque here, but please permit me. Some blood trickled from his nostrils. You know why? Because his lungs got filled with water and the alveolus began to pop. And you all say that this girl who was recorded privately is a liar and all the rest of it. She has too much medical knowledge to be a medical assistant, a nursing assistant, if you ask me. Nurse, the person you all say, whether it's her, heaven knows, but you suddenly they know her voice and all that. The telltale signs of drowning are not cotton stuck in your nostrils. When they lean you over, no blood runs out your nostrils because your lungs will expand so much that alveolus begin to pop inside. Vessels begin to pop, the little air pockets that store air. So within 24 hours, this nurse you're holding says she's so lying and all the rest of it. How is her information so accurate in reference to how somebody is when they drown? A private conversation was recorded. Well, who taught her that? We need to find the teacher who taught her about the respiratory system and give that person an award, because I've never had a nursing assistant speak with such levels of intellectual aptitude that far exceeds A.F.C. So she studied very well. Do like the FBI would do when they caught some hackers and stuff. I know this because I know people involved in that who would have had the experience. The FBI caught somebody hacking into the system and they said, come. They told the parents, we're not going to put this boy in jail. He's too intelligent for us to waste his knowledge in the prison. He will work for us. And now he's a big thing in cyber world. But the people said, we can't jail you, boy. You are 17 and you got so much sense. And you can hack into the Pentagon system. Come, you need you. This girl, you all need her because she's too smart to be a nursing assistant. She got more sense than all the doctors I know who stood in the room and Ali told him that nobody put the girl in the water. She has more sense than every one of them. So you need her. You need Nurse King. Because Nurse King could tell you all what makes common sense. Hell, you tell me some big froth in human beings is not a big thick clump. It may be mucus if you want to say it, but don't say froth. You all don't even, I tell you, you don't lie with sense. Froth is never this thick clump of substance that you can hold and pull out and it disappears when you take the body to the mortuary. You are a wicked set of people. And all you pastors and apostles and prophets and whoever you all are who quiet, you are a wicked bunch, y'all. You're wicked and you're worthless. Can you say you're worthless? You all have no shame. That's why the God of heaven is showing you in the earth. I am going to speak, I know exactly. I'm going to try to get to certain attorneys for us as a people to have a class action suit. It may be the first time in this country. We are going to say that we are bothered, we can't sleep, and it's the truth. I went to bed 4 o'clock this morning, got up by 6. I cannot rest. We need to have a class action suit filed. We can't sleep because the government and the police, some of y'all, are covering up things, and we can't sleep. And I go sue y'all. Because I can't rest with this foolishness. How can you tell me Frank Anthony could sit and say what somebody said? And you are our servant. That's what you call minister. You are our servant in the Ministry of Health. And you can't tell us that you were in the room? Another idiot about cybercrime is a serious offense. Cybercrime is more than a serious offense. What Guyana is a sissy law. That's no cybercrime law. You can't hurt anybody's feelings. You're a wicked bunch of people. You can't see so much injustice in your country, you can't talk. Yahweh has said, that's why you can't do anything, because I tell you what the scripture says. If you jail me for saying what the Bible says, and then show me that you're a wicked, ungodly, hedonistic bunch. And I don't have the right to propagate my religion. According to my religion, I have the right, the law as of Guyana, I have the right to propagate my religious belief. What nurse could speak with such level? What nursing assistant do you know speaks with such level of intelligence, terminologies? And she also said, the person said, whoever was speaking there said, that they would have been the head nurse when 3 men drowned in the bush, in the mudslide. You think I forgot? Which nursing assistant is ever a head nurse when people drown? So you're sending people Ministry of Health. You're sending nursing assistants to be the head nurse in the interior? Huh? Y'all come. You know where I live. The police been at work. They could pick me up and ride home. I'm waiting for y'all on my bridge. Y'all could come to me at any time. Any time of day. I say again that you preachers are wicked people. This man spent 11 hours on the water. 11 hours. 11 hours. And all that happened to his hand. And more so, he spent 11 hours overnight, which means it was cold. You all know what means water cold it gets. Don't play with this. It wasn't daytime. He spent 11 hours overnight, at least 8 hours. Overnight. When it's dew falling, it's cold. He was in the water. And all that happened, his hand wilted a little bit. His hand was wilted, his feet were wilted. But Adrianna's whole face was discolored, and you're going to tell me that the doctor said that these things on her face would have been synonymous with, or in keeping with, or pointed towards drowning. You are a wicked set of people, y'all. Wicked! That's why we can't see the forensic report yet. That's why we cannot see the pathologist report yet, not forensic pathologist. We can see a pathologist's report. The 6th day of May, and we cannot see the pathologist report up until today. And we are perverting justice. Oh, and Nurse King is, whatever her name is perverting justice. But y'all who keeping the information from us are not perverting justice. And you are not obstructing justice. The pool has to have chlorine for the public. Any pool, in which the public has access, to which the public have access. Any pool. If you don't put chlorine in it, it would not kill pathogens, which are disease-causing organisms. That's why you put chlorine, which is bleach. You put chlorine in water to kill things that can cause you to get sick. So they had to have chlorine in Dr. Hinsmall's pool. All of this has happened. And the Adventist leader, Clark, cannot come out and condemn this act to obfuscate, to hide justice. John Smith cannot come out and speak to this. Oh! Joella Caesar, come here. Come, don't run, come. Don't run from my thing. Sir, with all due respect. A P.P.P. one with the P.P.P. flag. Sir, with all due respect, can't we allow the child to rest in peace? You wicked. That's just what I said about y'all. Rest where? How? One trap here. Sir, can't we allow the child to rest in peace? Why? How do you rest in peace when somebody murders you? Rest in peace? No. Why can't we allow? Because we see injustice. Adriana's father, again, I asked her to do this because he's a main man in this situation. Tag, get a screen grab here. So Brian, Young, I keep telling you, you are the father of this child. It is your responsibility to fight for justice for your daughter. Beyond the mother's responsibility, a man protects his family at all costs. Even with our lives, we protect our families. It is your responsibility. Screen grab this right here. You delayed the funeral for whatever reason. And now, one day after, I told you yesterday, Sir Brian, Yahweh is at work. One day after, the same man who told me to go in the water to put the keys inside, the Connie was there for me to dive in the pool and do all I have to do to show the whole world that nobody is supposed underwater in a big pool. That's what he was saying in essence. That same man, within 24 hours after you postpone the funeral, is now used by heaven to show us all that from the road you can see. From the road you can see this man at the bottom of the water. Not from the side of the pool where critic was. From all the way on the public road. 70 feet away, you can see a whole human being. Let her rest in peace. No, your boys and your girls who cover this up will rest in a whole lot of places. It won't be peace though. Your boys and girls who want to cover this up, your wicked set of people, y'all gonna rest in a whole lot of places. There is no way and no time in this world where y'all can get me to be quiet in the face of injustice, especially against a girl child. I don't play with that. And y'all know me, I don't play with girl children. I didn't say my girl children, because some of y'all has to be your child before you do something. I don't play with girl children, period. You do foolishness to them, I am coming after you with all that I have inside of me. And you wicked preachers can't talk. Zane is asking how deep is the pool? 8 feet. What are the chances? Because after I did the video, the people knew that they had to measure the pool at Dr. Ainsmore, and they wrote at the side, they measured it, told the Connie that let's get a tape. Because it's common sense. Let's get a tape measure. He's a builder, I'm a builder. Let's get a tape and let's put the tape at the bottom and measure it. He said, no. Okay, fine. Well, when we got back today, they measured the pool for safety, for public safety, and wrote at the side where you walk. So you have to look at the side of the pool anymore. You can walk on the deck of the pool and see everything regarding the depth. And what did we see today? 8 feet, 7.5 feet, 7 feet, 6 feet, 5 feet. So we know that the pool is 8 feet deep, Connie. And Henry drowned in the 8 feet section of the pool, just around that area. You could see him. Henry, heaven, thank you. Heaven, Henry, has not failed you. Heaven has not failed you. So Brian Young, don't get tired seeking justice for your child. Do not ever become tired when it comes to seeking justice. Let the FBI come. If Ali could say that he's going to call the FBI to investigate Papershorts murder, but he can't call the FBI to investigate your child's murder, Ali is complicit. And we're going to sue NEWSROOM and all of them. Papershorts more important than Adriana? Is that what you're telling me? I close by telling you all again. Everyone who seeks to defend the People's Progressive Party by suggesting Adriana drown in Doubleday's pool, I will call you a murderer. Somebody say, please make a video say I'm not suicidal. Hell no, I'm not suicidal. Nobody, me? No, if anything, and I'll do another video indeed for that. If anything happens to me, it's because heaven allowed it. No man can touch me without Yahweh touching me. And I told you all that. Yahweh will kill you on your way to touch me. Play the fool. You have seen when I tell you all that an apostle of Yeshua is involved, an apostle of the Lord, Yeshua HaMashiach, is involved. Yahweh being my father, play the fool. Play the fool with me. You're going to find out, because you already begin to find out the hard way. When I told you, because you felt you could bury on and get rid of me, no. Yahweh said, no way, no funeral. And look at that. The same day, look at how many things have been unfolding within 24 hours. Look at how much is unfolding before your eyes within 24 hours because heaven doesn't play. Henry drowned. Nobody pushed him in the pool. Nobody held him underwater. I saw the entire video and I saw that Henry began to fade in reference to his strength. He reached for the wall and he couldn't touch the wall. He reached again, couldn't touch the wall, then began to float, to sink. In 90 seconds, he was underwater. In 90 seconds, Adrianna would have had at least 90 seconds in a public pool to do that. Adrianna would have sunk into the bottom of a public pool. You understand me? And Adrianna would have remained at the bottom of a public because Henry drowned in Guyana. It isn't the USA. It's not Russia. Henry drowned in the same country, Guyana, with the same climate. His skin is wilted, just the tips, his extremities, the appendages, because they get cold first. And he spent all night from 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock. The coldest time of the night, between midnight and 4, he was underwater. And there was no discoloration of his face alone, with his neck being intact. His tummy is intact, but his forearm discolored and another part fine. Y'all are murderers. And we'll get to the bottom of this. And when we get to the bottom of this, some people regret what they did. So you come to arrest me now and said I have perverted justice, and I'm seeking to obstruct justice. Come to me. You come. Your play heading good. For some of y'all, Yahweh will wipe out your whole family. You play the fool. I'm telling you, this God of heaven doesn't play. If you want,
we would have had more food, we would have had more inflation, but then we had like, it was slightly inflated, like somebody can suffocate you, and then when you die, it's like you kind of inflate, so your airway becomes inflated, and then limited air and limited anything can go down there. So then they didn't find her long after she was dumped in there, so the water barely get to seep in the lungs. So it's like instead of it being like a drum lungs like this, it's like this. Right?
Stop. From the top. Remember, I want to say your medical terms, right?
See, I just choking, suffocation.
So what got swollen? What got swollen like?
Nothing. The lungs itself. If the water had seeped in through the alveoli and bronchioli, the branches of the lungs, right? Then it would have been more inflated. It would have been more big.
So what you're saying that if water gets into the lungs from drowning,
it's gonna be a bit more big, and it's gonna be more kind of like.
So that can show up on an X-ray without you doing any actually catching a person. Can show up on a scan.
It can show that it has.
So
it can show that it has water in the lungs as well as the level of water.
The enlargement of the whatsoever you're talking about.
It's gonna show that it's enlarged.
So you don't have to actually cut the portion to see that inside. Makes sense for you, understand?
So from when they did it first time, I'm like, this is not wrong. But so they asked me to observe. I wasn't paid, and when I reached in there, they asked me to. Everybody had to write their name and stuff. But Frank called me like around 10 in the morning, so I wasn't officially gonna go on it, just because he trying, because I told you like I do a fucking job for him. So he called me next, like, can go, and I was like, oh my god. It's like, okay, no problem, I'm gonna go. So when I asked everybody to actually write their name on it, obviously I'm not gonna write my name because I know this shit is shit. They passing this stuff around with name, designation, department, things like that, and where you're working and which department. If I'm on the ministry or on the GPHC or whatever. So Dr. Caleb, he wrote his name, everybody wrote his name, and it passed wrong up me. I pretend like I wrote my name, and I passed it wrong back. Everybody wrote his name. So they asked me what I think, I told them it's more consistent with suffocation. It was like the guy from Mount Sinai, he was like, I agree. The guy from Delaware, he was like, I agree too, because the oxygen, if it was a drowning, then it wouldn't have, it looked as if that person died at least 9 hours before the water got into the lungs, because the oxygen already, I don't know if you understand. Anyway, it's hard for you to understand.
Explain.
Anyway, the oxygen, the circulation and everything had already decreased. It looks like not malignancy. It looks like almost like a necrotic tissue, like it was black.
That's in the lungs?
Yeah. It almost looked like a necrotic tissue. So I'm like, this is not consistent with drowning. It was like, yeah, we agree. It's more consistent. Like someone put something of your own. The oxygen level drop. Oxygenated blood cannot go, so you die. And when you die, you stay there a while. Because if they had do that, then put her in the pool right away, it would have still go as if the person drowned.
Okay.
Right? Because remember, your body take a while before it actually completely shut down. So they waited almost, that's from my timings, approximately 9 hours before they actually put her in that pool. So I'm telling them she did not drown. Then the fucking jackasses got out there. They called the family, and of course they was on saying, okay, everybody come to a conclusion that she died because this a lot of them was on the phone inside the room, which is you're supposed to turn off your phone. And then they was like, oh, she drowned. At that point, I was ready to go home. Because I didn't know how to feel about that. I know the level of victimization is going to come if I see anything. That's why I did not sign my name. Because when push comes to shove, you're not going to see yes, King on that signature on that thing. I wasn't officially appointed to go to that thing. They asked me a favor to come and look over, and I gave my opinion from the pulmonary side, and I gave my opinion. So then when they come out and they said that, it makes me feel as though I am part of the cover-up. I am just as guilty as them. You understand?
So what do you think about your safety?
Huh?
What do you think about
I
your safety?
did not tell you. It was probably the second person I tell. And of course, you're not regarding me.
Well, don't tell nobody to me, please.
No,
I don't want nobody come look
I
at
would
me.
never tell somebody. Why would I even tell somebody? I would just feel about this story about shit. And another thing, she was sexually molested, sad to say.
What the fuck? You serious right now?
She was sexually molested. And it looks as though either she was dragged or whatever they use, it have abrasion, like lots of abrasion, like deep fucking abrasion. When I had my bike accident, I have like a mark behind my leg here, and I had like a lot of abrasion on my leg. It was like that. It felt like when I saw her skin, it felt like when I fall down with that bike and I slide on the highway, how my skin was. That's how it looks. And then it looks as if it's like normal putting alcohol on a cut, it kind of like discolored your skin. Like you have a cut and you throw some alcohol, it kind of discolored.
Okay.
So I imagine throwing some other chemicals. I don't know what sort of chemical it was, but it discolored it to make it seem as though it's consistent with drowning, but it's not consistent with drowning. This is not my first supposedly drowned victim. I was in the interior as emergency nurse. We had people that got covered. I witnessed some 3-person got covered on the mudslide and it was under the water, and then when they come out, they had nothing like that. Nothing was consistent with drowning there. But everything is political. That's why I was so fucking upset. I called Frank and I tell him, I said, I think this time I made up my mind to go to Canada because I think you call me to fuck with my mental health. I said, you guys know exactly what you was gonna rule out. Then if you was gonna rule out, why the fuck you call me? As if you want the truth. Why did you call me? Why did you call me to examine the man when you know I have children too? Why did you call me? So that I went home Monday night. When I was leaving the camera, everything was a cover because, and then they wanted, like, I don't know, they thought I recognized. So when I was coming out, I said I was going to the CEO. He came same time. When Travis talked to him earlier, because I was looking at Travis just like before Frank called me, and he was asking him, and he was like, he have no comments on that, and that's not on his level to see if Joshua Hospital. And then suddenly he was well involved. So he was informed. Everybody was informed. Everybody was by the cover. So when I was ready to, when I was leaving now, he was like, Nurse King, you might have to park your car in the compound, and we're gonna drop you home because you see how these hooligans going on. I said, I didn't kill this girl. I'm not part of your little cover. So I have nothing to worry about. I said, I'm going to take my car out and do it. It was like, if anything happens to you, it's on our behalf, and Frank is going to deal with us, and he's going to just, I said, well, you definitely got to deal with you. I cut my car first. I went to the gate. These people blacked out the road. I went and I told them I need to go home. And I went home. When I went, oh my God. I bought a case of beer. I drink it. One of them, I didn't even know that. Like, I was so fucked up. I didn't get one after the other. Like, I was.
Yeah, I kind of predict the outcome.
So then it's like, I asked myself, like, am I a part of this cover up? Like, you asked me to help you rule out something. You asked me what I think. I told you what I think. You agreed on what we on the findings, and we concluded, and then you fucking go and set it wrong and no sexual assault.
So actually, who made it? Who made the final decision to give the information outlet?
So the guys from Mount Sinai, I think it's like for instance, like he's a contractor. No, not Mount Sinai. The other guy that they wanted to come first is whoever this company named Paul. All right, he's a contractor, and these other two is like a subcontractor. So he's like the boss. So he was like, okay, we have the conclusion. He's like, good point on nursing from our respiratory thing, yeah, because indeed, and he break it down more, like, yeah, indeed, because look at this other part, this was like partial truth, they had things like oxygen, yeah, it's more like oxygen loss rather than. And I was like, okay, and then he was like, I was preparing to leave already. And then he said, okay, well, we already made our decision. I thought that was a fucking decision, right?
Oh, I understand.
I thought that was a decision. It's when, and the thing, the worst part of it is that I know the father, I know Sir Brian. And I know the aunt is she works at UG too.
Oh.
So when I said call him inside, and he was talking, and then I don't know what they tell him, if they and one out of the two is either they tell him the truth and they want to silence him, or they tell him, okay, this is what happened, but if you go there and say something, you threaten national security, you can be charged with treason.
I don't think they would bring that kind of talk to him, because he's just a dude. He didn't fucking understand that.
Okay.
Think about it.
Okay. So you say
I'm just assuming, because come on.
I've been working with these fucking people like since the last government changed. I know what the previous government was capable of, and this one here is the worst. This government is the worst thing that happened to Guyanese. This is not me being political, because everybody that knows me know that I criticize.
I understand.
I criticize every fucking body. When Frank, even though when the other day Frank put up that he trained how much nurses, and I tell you the set of fucking incompetent nurse training. And he called me to me, and I must don't make this comments under his post because it looks bad and I'm on him. I'm like, you put him both into the public, I'm gonna call you out publicly. You want me to praise you? I'm not gonna do it. So that's the only problem with me. He said I'm disobedient and I don't listen, and I have issues. He said I have issues. I said okay. So now
Who's this Frankie Lagmo?
Minister Bell.
Oh.
Yeah. So once you're being truthful, you have issues, and you shouldn't be truthful. You shouldn't tell the truth. You should just. So I said I can't keep up with a lie. Inside mind as well.
So the doctor's name again? Who went on?
Caleb.
Yeah.
So at first.
He wasn't properly informed or something, because he was not sure of what he was talking about.
Everybody thinks so. Caleb.
And
that's the thing.
also?
That's the thing. When you fucking sell your soul to these people, you owe this. So that's why a lot of these police, they does illegal stuff, right?
And
They get off. So now when they call them to say, well, okay, go and shoot this man, you have no other choice because you owe me. You understand it? It's like a game of the cartels. It's like Al Pacino, it's like El Chapo, it's like this kind of stuff going on in this country. But it's like white collar criminal that we so swift with it that you don't understand it. You don't think it. We just see it as one Caleb was just GMO. Caleb was Caleb. I know Caleb personally. Caleb was one of my batchmates, and of course he lived in tuition. He had 101 children, good. And he went over there. He went to study endocrinology. He came back when he did another. He had to do another pre-med before he studied endocrinology, and then the government gave him some money. He went back, and so when he came back, he was all humble. He did his clinic in Kitty. Everybody was like, "Oh, it's the only endocrinologist in the country," and then he started to tie up with the government. Once you start tying up with the government, your whole character, you lose your integrity, your dignity. You don't have that. Any person I see stand up with Jack Diangamazi 4 or 5 places with him, I don't trust them. I don't even want some water from them, as a matter of fact. Right? Because these people put you in a situation that compromise you fully, that you can't say anything because you would have asked them for a favor in the past. So when I first see it was like I never these calls. Caleb wasn't paid. I understand. Caleb wasn't paid. Caleb was in a situation. Caleb was in a situation that he had no control of it. He was so troubled doing that life. I don't know if person that know him, he's a person with good confidence, right? He was so troubled because even to when persons was commenting, he was looking at the comments and he was like, yeah, I have concerns about the marks, but with the family promotion, I'm gonna do that in a later life. Did Caleb ever do another life with regards to that? No. So recently Caleb bought medical arts. Where Caleb get the money from? I don't know. Maybe the bank lending, maybe not. Maybe the government gave him some money, maybe not.
So who's actually innocent in the situation? What about the liar?
Yeah, he's innocent.
He's innocent.
Yeah, Darren Wade is innocent. Because remember when they come with all these medical terms.
I mean, he don't understand that, right? Yeah.
Malignancy and all this shit we can talk about. He's like he won't be aware, but when they break it down in layman terms and they take out the salt and they take out the black pepper and the fried spice and all of that and they left it bland, then I'm gonna get the last of it. This is what I'm gonna understand. But when it's deeper than that, so while I want another PME to be done, I just think she should go and rest, right? She went through a lot. I need her to go and rest, and they already have a lot of evidence action as opposed to drumming, because if they had drum, then we would have had more fluid and we would have had more inflation, but then we had it was slightly inflated, like somebody they can suffocate you, and then when you die, it's like you kind of feel so your airway becomes suffocated and limited air and limited anything can go down there. So then they didn't find her long after she was dumped in there, so the water barely get to seep in the lungs. So it's like instead of it being like a drum lungs like this, it's like this. Alright?
Stop. Funny talk. Remember I want to say your medical terms, right?
Asphyxiation is choking, suffocation.
So what got swollen? What got swollen like?
Nothing at the lungs itself. If the water had seeped into the alveoli and bronchioli, the branches of the lungs, right? Then it would have been more inflated. It would have been more big.
So what you're saying that if water gets into the lungs from drunk, then
it's gonna be a bit more big, and it's gonna be more kind of like.
So that can show up on an X-ray without you doing any actually causing a person. Can show up on a scan.
It can show that it has.
So you can show that
it have water in the lungs as well as the level of water.
And the enlargement of the whatsoever we're talking about.
It's gonna show that it's enlarged.
So you don't have to actually cut the portion to see that instead. Makes sense for us, I understand.
So from when they did it first time, I'm like, this is not wrong. But so they asked me to observe. I wasn't paid. And when I reached in there, they asked me to. Everybody had to write their name and stuff. But Frank called me like around 10 in the morning, so I wasn't officially was gonna go on it just because he trained, because I told you like I do a fucking job for him. So he called me next, like, can go? And I was like, oh my god. It's like, okay, no problem, I'm gonna go. So when they asked everybody to actually write their name on it, obviously I'm not gonna write my name because I know this shit is shit. they passing this stuff around with name, destination, department, things like that, and where you're working and which if I'm on the ministry or on the G.P.A or whatever. So Dr. Caleb, he wrote his name, everybody wrote his name, and it passed wrong up me. I pretend like I wrote my name and I passed it wrong back. Everybody wrote his name. So they asked me what I think. I told them it's more consistent with certification. It was like the guy from Mount Zion, he was like, I agree. The guy from Delaware, he was like, I agree too, because the oxygen, if it was a drunk, and then it wouldn't have it looked as if that person died at least 9 hours before the water got into the lungs, because the oxygen already I don't know if you understand. Anyway, it's hard for you to understand.
Explain.
Anyway, the oxygen, the circulation and everything had already decreased. It looks like normally you can see it looks like almost like a necrotic tissue, like it was black.
That's in the lungs?
Yeah. It almost looked like a necrotic tissue. So I'm like, this is not consistent with drowning. It was like, yeah, we agree. It's more consistent stuff, like somebody put something up your mouth, your oxygen level drop, the oxygenated blood cannot go, so you die. And when you die, you stay there a while. Because if they had do that and then put her in the pool right away, it would have still go as if the person drowned.
Okay.
Right? Because remember, your body take a while before it actually completely shut down. So they waited almost, that's from my timings, approximately 9 hours before they actually put her in that pool. So I'm telling them she did not drown. Then the fucking jackasses gone out there, they called the family, and of course they was saying, okay, everybody come to a conclusion that she died because this a lot of them was on the phone inside her room, which is you're supposed to turn off your phone. And then they was like, oh, she drowned. At that point, I was ready to go home. Because I didn't know how to feel about that. I know the level of victimization is going to come if I say anything. That's why I did not sign my name. Because when push comes to shove, you're not going to see Ms. King on that signature on that thing. I wasn't officially appointed to go to that thing. They asked me a favor to come and look over, and I gave my opinion from the pulmonary side, and I gave my opinion. So then when they come out and they said that, it makes it feel as though I am part of the cover-up. I am just as guilty as them. You understand?
So what do you think about your safety?
Huh? I did not tell you. It was probably the second person I tell. And of course, you're not regarding me.
Well, don't tell nobody, Tom, please.
No,
I don't want nobody come look
I would
at me.
never tell nobody. Why would I even tell someone? I would just feel about shit. And another thing, she was sexually molested. Sad to say.
What the fuck? You serious right now?
She was sexually molested. And it looks as though either she was dragged or whatever they use, it have abrasion, like lots of abrasion, like deep fucking abrasion. When I had my bike accident, I have like a mark behind my leg here, and I had like a lot of abrasion on my leg. It was like that. It felt like when I saw her skin, it felt like when I fall down with that bike and I slide on the highway, how my skin was. That's how it looks. And then it looks as if it's like normal putting alcohol on a cut, it kind of like discolored your skin. Like you have a cut, and you throw some alcohol, it kind of discolored.
Okay.
So I imagine trying some other chemicals. I don't know what sort of chemical it was, but it discolored it to make it seem as though it's consistent with drowning, but it's not consistent with drowning. This is not my first supposedly drowned victim. I was in the interior of the emergency nurse. We had people that got covered. I witnessed some 3-person got covered on the mudslide and it was under the water, and then when they come out, they had nothing like that. Nothing was consistent with drowning there. But everything is political. That's why I was so fucking upset. I called Frank and I tell him, I said, I think this time I made up my mind to go to Canada because I think you called me to fuck with my mental health. I said, you guys know exactly what you was gonna rule out. Then if you was gonna rule out, why the fuck you call me? As if you want the truth. Why did you call me? Why did you call me to examine the man where you know I have children too? Why did you call me? So that I went home one night. When I was leaving the camera, everything was a cover because, and then they wanted, like, I don't know, they thought I read my eyes. But when I was coming out, I said I was going to the CEO. He came saying that when Travis talked to him earlier, because I was looking at Travis just like before Frank called me, and he was asking him, and he was like, he have no comments on that, and that's not on his level, the CEO of Joshua Hospital. And then suddenly he was well involved. So he was informed. Everybody was informed. Everybody was by the cover. So when I was ready to, when I was leaving now, he was like, Nurse King, you might have to park your car in the compound, and we're gonna drop you home because you see how these hooligans going on. I said, I didn't kill this girl. I'm not part of your little cover, so I have nothing to worry about. I said, I'm gonna take my car out and do it. It was like, if anything happens to you, it's on our behalf, and Frank is going to deal with us, and he's going to do this. I said, well, you definitely got to deal with y'all. I cut my car first. I went to the gate. These people on Black Mountain Road. I went and I told them I need to go home. And I went home. When I went, oh my God. I bought a case of beer. I drink it. One of them, I didn't even know that. Like, I was so fucked up. I didn't get one after the other. Like, I was.
Yeah, I kind of predict the outcome.
So then it's like, I asked myself, I'm like, am I a part of this cover up? Like, you asked me to help you rule out something. You asked me what I think. I told you what I think. You agreed on what we go on the findings, and we concluded, and then you fucking go and sit it down and no sexual assault. You guys celebrated.
So actually, who made the final decision to give the information outlet?
So the guys from Mount Sinai, I think it's like for instance, like he's a contractor. No, not Mount Sinai. The other guy that they wanted to come first is whoever this company named Paul. Alright? He's a contractor, and these other two is like a subcontractor. So he's like the boss. So he was like, okay, we have the conclusion. He's like, good point, nurse from our respiratory thing, yeah, because indeed, and he break it down more, like, you know, yeah, indeed, because look at this other part, this was like respiratory, they have things about oxygen, yeah, it's more like oxygen loss rather than, and I was like, okay, and then he was like, I was preparing to leave already, and then he said, okay, well, we already made our decision. I thought that was a fucking decision, right?
Oh, I understand.
I thought that was a decision. It's when, and the thing, the worst part of it is that I know the father, I know Sir Brian. And I know the aunt is she works at UG too.
Oh.
So when I see call him inside and he was talking, and then I don't know what they tell him, if they and one out of the two is either they tell him the truth and they want to silence him, or they tell him, okay, this is what happened, but you know, if you go there and say something, you threaten national security, you can be charged with treason.
I don't think they would bring that kind of talk to him, because he's a street dude. He don't want. He didn't fucking understand that.
Okay.
Think about it.
Okay. So you say.
I'm just assuming, because come on.
I've been working with these fucking people like since the last government changed. I know what the previous government was capable of, and this one here is the worst. This government is the worst thing that happened to Guyanese. This is not me being political, because everybody that knows me know that I criticize.
I understand.
I criticize every fucking body. When Frank, even the one the other day Frank put up that he trained nurses, and I tell you, the set of fucking incompetent nurse training. And he commented when I was don't make these comments under his post because it looks bad that I'm under him. I'm like, I'm gonna you're putting voices in the public, I'm gonna call you out publicly. You want me to praise you? I'm not gonna do it. So that's the only problem with me. He said I'm disobedient and I don't listen, and I have issues. He said I have issues. I said okay. So now
Who's Frank Lagmore?
Mr. Bell.
Oh.
Yeah. So once you're being truthful, you're happy. So you shouldn't be truthful. You shouldn't tell the truth. You should just. I said I can't keep up with a lie. So I might as well.
So the doctor, what's his name again? Who went
Caleb?
on a, yeah.
So at first,
He wasn't happy in farm or something because he was that sure of what he was talking about.
everybody thinks so. Caleb.
He was
Another
being
thing.
deceitful also.
That's the thing. When you fucking sell your soul to these people, you owe this. So that's why a lot of these police, they does illegal stuff, right?
And then
they get off. So now when they call them to say, well, okay, go and shoot this man, you have no other choice because you owe me. You understand it? It's like a game of the cartels. It's like Al Pacino, it's like El Chapo, it's like this kind of stuff going on in this country. But it's like white collar criminal that we so fitted that you don't understand. You don't think it. We just see it as one killer. Was just GMO. Caleb was Caleb. I know Caleb personally. Caleb was one of my batchmates, and of course he lived in tuition. He had 101 children, but and he went over there. He went to study endocrinology. He came back when he did he had to do another pre-med before he studied endocrinology, and then the government gave him some money. He went back, and so when he came back, he was all humble. He did his clinic in QT. Everybody was like, oh, it's the only endocrinologist in the country. And then he started to tie up with the government. Once you start tying up with the government, your whole character, you lose your integrity, your dignity. You don't have that. Any person I see stand up with Jack Diangamasi 4 or 5 places with him, I don't trust them. I don't even want some water from them, as a matter of fact. Right? Because these people put you in a situation that compromise you fully, that you can't say anything because you would have asked them for a favor in the past. So when I first see it was like these calls. Caleb wasn't paid. I understand. Caleb wasn't paid. Caleb was in a situation. Caleb was in a situation that he had no control of it. He was so troubled doing that life. I don't know if person that know him, he's a person with good confidence, right? He was so troubled because even to when persons was commenting, he was looking at the comments and he was like, yeah, I have concerns about the marks, but with the family promotion, I'm going to do that in a later life. Did Caleb ever do another life with regards to that? No. So recently Caleb bought medical arts. Where Caleb get the money from, I don't know. Maybe the bank lending, maybe not. Maybe the government gave him some money, maybe not.
So who's actually innocent in this situation? What about the liar?
Yeah, he's innocent.
He's innocent.
Yeah, Darren Wade is innocent. Because remember when they come with all these medical terms.
I mean, he don't understand that, right? Yeah.
Then malignancy and all this shit we can talk about. He's like he won't be aware, but when they break it down in layman terms and they take out the salt and they take out the black pepper and the fried spice and all of that and they left it bland, then I'm gonna get the last of it. This is what I'm gonna understand. But when it's deeper than that, so while I want another PME to be done, I just think she should go and rest, right? She went through a lot.